All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you are having an amazing morning. I hope you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I'm doing good. I hear that you're struggling a little bit with the return to Eastern Time Zone.
Oh yeah, I am struggling so bad, my friend. It is unbelievable. It's funny because when we got there, I was like, "Oh, jet lag's no big deal. Perfectly fine." Me and my wife did not feel anything. Coming back, we're
It's
both
always
up.
worse coming back. At least for
Oh,
me, it always was. Yeah,
I
it always is.
I never been 12 hours ahead or behind, whatever you want to call it. So coming back last night, we were both up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. We're like, what is going on? We're wide awake. It's just insane. But yeah, a couple of days we'll be back to normal. But yeah, definitely struggling as we get into the swing of things this morning. So
let me give you a break for a moment because
Sure.
let's start this morning with a little rant. Come close. Join me here.
Yes,
It is
let's do it.
cold here today. It is cold. I woke up and it was minus 20 outside, and now it's minus 20. So it's super cold. And I went and I had to do a couple things outside, and it was freaking like I was just freezing. And I came inside and I was getting ready for the show, and I went to say maybe I'll tell my American friends how cold it is. And I looked at the temperature, and right now it's minus 17. I don't know if you can see. There you go, minus 17 degrees. Whoa, and cloudy. There you go. So I decided to go look up minus 17, and let me. I just need to talk to my American friends. Get with the program, because every atom of my being tells me that when I go outside and it's minus 17 degrees, it's cold. It's negative something. And I go look at the Fahrenheit scale, and it says it's 1 degree. 1 degree Fahrenheit. It's not 1 degree Fahrenheit. What is wrong with Fahrenheit? Like, when this beautiful life-giving substance, this is water, not vodka, by the way. But when it turns from a liquid to a solid, like this lovely snow that I've got here, that's a special number. That's not 32. That's 0. It's 0.
Yeah.
I know what negative feels like. That negative is cold. Not 1 degree. What is wrong? Anyways, just there's only I think there's only 4 countries in the world that use Fahrenheit, or use the imperial system now, and the U.S. is the only country of size. So
Yeah,
so
I get
maybe
it,
it's
man.
time. Maybe it's time. I get it. Independent, go U.S. But maybe. Anyways, all right. Just a friendly rant. I'm just having fun with you guys. But yeah, it's freaking cold out there, man. Woof. Anyways, all
It is
right, let's
cold.
get on with
Yeah.
the trading, because what's hot is the trading. There has been some interesting trading opportunities over the last couple of weeks. I'm not saying it's easy. If any of you out there are struggling, you're probably with a lot of us, because it hasn't been all that easy, and weird stuff. All you have to just look at the Nvda chart from yesterday, right? And it'll show you weirdness. But the opportunities are there if you can be really patient. So, it's Nvidia's just trundling along, doing its own thing, and then suddenly at 12, whatever time that was, 12:50, it just says, you know what? Let's go up. Let's go up like $4. Yeah. Anyways, I know there was some news, but still,
Yeah.
it's that type of thing that we're seeing. I seem to be seeing a little bit more, and that creates some interesting trading opportunities. So I'm pretty excited for today, despite the cold. That's how I'm keeping myself warm, by ranting and getting all excited.
Love it, man. Love it. It is cold. It is here. It's negative 7 or 8 here Celsius.
Oh, it's
So
even colder
it's
for you then.
it's cold.
Oh.
Yeah, today is no question. It is definitely cold. So All right, let's take a look, friends, at what's going on here. Gappers is brought to you by TradingTerminal.com. As you can see on here, got a couple of things in the green and not so much in the red. So very balanced list so far as numbers compared to what we saw yesterday. It was heavier on the green side of things. So let's take a look at the first one on here. Actually, before we do that, let's jump into our U.S. economic calendar, Peter. I know it's been a little bit light, but what do we have going on for today, if anything?
Uh, well, not much. The big day is coming tomorrow with the Fed interest rate decision. That's tomorrow, not today, which means we might get a little bit of calmness. I don't know. The market hasn't wanted to be calm. Early this morning, we did have the NFIB Optimism Index, which is the small business optimism. It came out is a little bit better than reported, so that's good. At 10 o'clock this morning, we have the JOLTS job numbers. Normally, that would be a pretty good market impact. I'm not sure if it's going to impact because we're still catching up on data. Weeks later after the reopening, see, this is October data that's coming out. It is December. I know that because I bought a Christmas tree yesterday. So it is December. So, this is interesting, but it's almost like historical number at this point, right? Yeah, I'm not sure the market is going to really care whatsoever. So, but that's pretty much it for today. And then I said the big day is the Fed rate, which is coming out at 2 with the press conference at 2:30. So that's what we have to look forward to. Not a lot of earnings today, so we don't really have that on the slate. Really, we just got to go to the gappers list and see what's moving, what we can take from that, and maybe pick our favorites.
Yep, sounds good to me, friends. Let's take a look at what's going on there. Starting with the first one, XCUR, excuse me, XCUR. Let's see what we got going on here. Looks like it was a high flying one last night. Went all the way up to 1582, almost 16. Today we're up 67%. 10 million shares traded. So we got tons of volume in this thing. Hard to borrow. The flow, as you can see here, is a 1.9, 1.7. So really low flow. So I'm getting here from Trading Terminal. Peter, what's the latest and greatest? Anything good on XCUR?
XCUR Inc. A biotech company. I think they missed yesterday because it's drug news. So they basically had positive top line phase 2 data for. There's something wrong with this company. They like the letter X and they like naming things in unpronounceable terms. Buriexifor is the name of their drug, which is for multiple myeloma. Anyways, so their drug is doing well, and that's got them popping this morning. I don't know. I mean, it's a low float, like you said. It's got volume. It's sort of weird that it's trending below the VWAP here. That sort of implies all the volume this morning happened really early when it popped up, but it's yeah, I don't know what to make of this, Carlos. If you guys like a low float, it actually looks like a good candidate, but it's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm gonna leave this one alone and see what else we can get out of the list here. ATMV is next on the list here this morning. Another one that also got going after hours last night. You can see the pop here. Oh, wow, that's pretty decent. It was $9, went all the way up. I'm showing almost 37. 37.43. So pretty nice pop. It did lose it all right back before they closed the session last night. And today they're up 33%, high as 1650 at the moment, right back down to 10. So this thing has been, man, this thing has been wild. Talk about volatility all over the place this morning. 2.7 million shares traded. Another one that's hard to borrow, and also low flow, Peter, sitting at 1.4 million shares flow. Again, typically not something that we like. So what's your thoughts on it, and anything good happening this morning?
There's no analyst. This is a shell company, by the way. It's not even a real company. It's just a bucket of money. And there's no news. There's no analyst coverage. And in fact, the only article that came out is a statement from the company that said there is no catalyst identified for the change in stock price. The discrepancy suggests possible thin trading volume or data misinterpretation, but no specific or special announcements have been released. So basically, even the company's saying, "Don't look at us, man. We didn't do it. We don't know what's going on." So, yeah. So that's a
Yeah.
good reason to just avoid this one altogether, in my opinion.
Yeah, we'll definitely leave that one alone as well. Heading back to our list here, we have next VOR. VOR this morning. We are up 28%. VOR via Pharma. 15 million shares traded. So we got tons of volume today. 15 million shares traded. If you look at the daily, this thing has been just selling off. Did have a nice gap down back in November 10th, I think. You can see that there. Go ahead, Peter. You were going to say something?
Have we lost the screens in the chat room? Why can't I see them? Maybe
Let me check. Hold on.
doesn't look like you're sharing a screen.
Oh, that's not good. Is it floating away? Is it trying?
Maybe it's just me.
Trying to pull Rafsilla here. No, I think it's
Okay, no, it's there.
it's working.
Must have been on my side. Never mind.
Yeah.
Continue with your regularly scheduled program.
Absolutely. All right, friends, and so VR here again, not really doing anything on the daily, but today the pre-market action looking really active. 15.2 million shares traded. Also another low flow. Again, the list today made up of a lot of low flows. First top three. 1.7, 1.4, and this one 4.8 million shares flow. So as you guys know, if you're new to the channel, usually anything under 40, 50 million shares is typically considered for us a low flow stock. So you want to be extra careful. Volatility could be very high, and some of our strategies that work well with mid to large flow stocks do not work well on these lower flow stocks, right? So you got to be very careful. Peter, here's another one. What's your thoughts on it? What's the latest and greatest?
Yeah, no news on VOR. It looks like this is actually a self-licking ice cream cone. That it popped up just because of technical analysis on a couple of scanners, and that got some people interested. It's more or less memeing. It is the only reason it seems to be moving this morning. I mean, the volume is great. We've got almost 16 million shares traded, but it's there's no news behind it. So who knows how long the meme will last? This is a crapshoot as to whether it does anything interesting.
All right. Again, not really my cup of tea here. Let's move on to the next one. WVE. So WVE on deck up 9.6. So 9.6 at the moment. Almost 900,000 shares traded. Volume's starting to get going there. And you can see here on the pre-market, we're very active. Had a big day yesterday. So if you look at it yesterday, went from gapped up from 12 up to 12.92, went all the way up to around 20, almost 19.50, and up some more again today. So this thing is rocking, man. What's driving it?
They did. We were talking about this in the chat room yesterday afternoon because, as you point out, it was moving. And it looks like they do have positive results on a phase 1 obesity drug, WVE-007, the James Bond of obesity drugs. But anyways, it's it has shown a significant fat reduction and lean mass gain. So phase 1 means it's early on, but it's good enough to move the stock higher, and that's all that matters in the short term. So am I confusing? Has everybody not heard the term a self-licking ice cream cone? Is that
I never heard of it.
No? It's like a fake engineering term. It's sort of like a useless device, right? That so what's the point of an ice cream cone that licks itself? That it's anyways.
Oh yeah, and I never.
It basically means a closed loop system that serves no purpose. It sounds kinky. It does a little bit, doesn't it? But it's actually, I think if we look back, it was probably like a software term. Anyways, I'll have to look that up. I don't actually know where it came from originally, but
yeah.
All right. Sorry.
All right,
I'll introduce you to new things, guys, whether you want it or not. So
there you go. All right, friends. All right, so yeah, WVE, not adding this to the list. I don't like it. Be careful. Another low flow. Actually, it's not a low flow. This is actually 134 million. It might be trading like a low flow, but it's 134 million shares flow. So be careful. Not typically something I like, but could be a good popcorn list for today. to see if is this going to continue. Actually, I do like it for a popcorn list. So I will do that. I will add it on here and see where it goes.
Just to finish our useless fact moment, it actually was first used in 1992 in a book about the Gulf War weapon systems by Norman Friedman. He talked about self-licking ice cream cones as the habit of government-funded organizations to spend taxpayer money to lobby for more taxpayer money. So it's basically a system that just keeps feeding itself for no discernible benefit. So there you go. Norman Friedman. Yeah, where is he now? I have no idea. But anyways, so apparently I was wrong. It wasn't. We just used it at Nortel all the time to describe useless programs. So that's where I got to know it. But I didn't realize this would have been about the right time frame, 91, 92 when this came out. So I guess that book was popular at the time. So there you go. You're welcome.
All right. People are asking when is the next Fed meeting? It is the 10th, tomorrow. Tomorrow. So we'll be seeing what takes place there with the next Fed meeting and see how things go there. All right, let's continue here, friends. So again, that covers part of our gap up list. We got some other ones on here that don't look so great. STAA is one that's on deck also. If you look at it this morning, again, as high as 32, back down to 26. Not much activity in the pre-market. It does have 1.5 million shares traded. 49 million shares float. The daily doesn't look great. So again, I'm not inclined to have this on the list, Peter. But again, Star Surgical is the name of the company.
Yeah, they've got a pending merger with a company called Alcon, and they just submitted papers to the SEC to raise the price for the merger to $30.75 a share. So, which is good for them as an acquisition, not tradable.
Yeah, not good. All right, we'll leave this one alone, and that's about it. Peter, anything you like of the gap up list this morning? Not a lot that came off of that. That's going to be on the list today.
No, and we've got a sort of a mix. It's one of those days where everything's not going in a single direction. The market was green earlier. It looks like it's just gone red over the last 45 minutes or so. Nvidia is still hanging on to green. Apple is still hanging on to green. Netflix, which was a decent mover yesterday morning, not so much the afternoon, but in the morning, is also green today, but holding below 100, much to, I'm sure, Mike's chagrin out there. So we got a couple of green spots, but it doesn't really matter if they're on the green side or the red side of yesterday's close. Frankly, I think it's just happenstance where they sit. They could go in any direction. So pick your favorites. You guys know my favorites. I'll be watching Nvda, Tesla, AMD, Netflix maybe, because Netflix is. It seems to be in play. It was in play the last couple of days. As we know, it came into play when they had the announced merger. They announced with great confidence the merger with Warner Brothers, so much so that the symbolic Warner Brothers water tower? They
Yes, of course.
actually painted it over and painted a giant Netflix N on it before Paramount made their move and is challenging the merger. And of course, Paramount's they've got some ammunition. They're claiming that their bid is better. That being said, Netflix is fighting back, saying that that's not better. It's just they're measuring it wrong because Paramount is bidding for everything. Netflix did not include the cable services, which they were going to spin off to a publicly traded company, which I'm in favor of that deal because if it gives us one more publicly traded thing that might give some good trading, then that sounds like more fun to me. However, this is the war of words. What's interesting about this one is Netflix clearly had the support of the board. However, Paramount's got a ton of political pressure that they can bring because the father of the CEO of Paramount is a good friend of Trump, and Jared apparently is on the board of Paramount or has friends on the board. So the old sort of billionaires club is. Can I say they're licking themselves? Can I say that? I'm referencing back our licking. Never mind. Forget I said that. It's interesting anyways, and we can watch it through watching Warner Brothers and Netflix.
What a mess. What a mess.
Did I just get us a whole bunch of likes or get us canceled? I'm not sure. One of the two.
I don't even know, man. The streaming, the whole streaming and cable TV thing is just it's disgusting. It's disgusting. That's what it is. I mean, it's just getting out of
Well,
control, man. It's just
it's whatever
I don't get it.
happens, it's interesting. I'm just looking for trading opportunities from it. So you know what?
Yep.
Those big dogs are going to do what they're going to do. We've got no influence in that. All we can do is watch and see where we can profit. So
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I want to go back to just cable TV. Netflix and cable TV. That's it. All these streaming things are just what a pain, man. And now they got
dream for
NFL
those days, Carlos. But
going to like
they're
Prime and
going back.
like oh my goodness, what a mess, what a mess. All right,
Mhm.
let's see what's gapping up, friends. Let's continue here. TWG is up on the list this morning. They are down 70%, my friend. That is a big whopping drop here. So 70%. This morning, 2.1 million shares traded. So this is TWG Top Wealth Group. Not too much for the Top Wealth Group name there.
Yeah,
It is, and the
not,
flow is
not going
less
so
than a
well.
million. Very, very small. And actually,
Yeah,
not to kill
for
them too
now.
much. They did get a huge pop up yesterday, so they just gave everything back. So it's not really that big of a deal as far as the overall company here. Because again, they got a big
Yeah.
pop here, and they're just right back down. So, obviously, whatever made them move yesterday did not stick, Peter, and they're back to where they were 2 trading days ago.
Yeah, they announced early this morning that they're issuing a $5 million public offering, which is 5.04 million. They're issuing another 720,000 shares at a price of $7 a share. So basically, they're more than doubling their float, and they're issuing that at a favorable price below the trading price. So of course, look where the price moved to, right? Just below that, which is typically what happens when you get these secondaries. So, yeah, not a good trading opportunity.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next one here, friends. It's going to be CETX. So CETX. Oh, if I could type that in here correctly. CETX. Here we go. We are down 20%, 1.5 million shares traded. Another one that doesn't really trade very well. Not going to be on my list. We got some volume. We got some movement. It is a low flow stock sitting under a million shares traded. Shares flow, excuse me. Again, not going to make my list, Peter.
No, I read the company name and it's Semtex. Isn't that like the explosive putty stuff that you use to blow things up that I see in movies? But no, the company's called Semtrex, and it's a software company. It looks like they've basically issued a secondary, so not exciting.
I gotta tell you, man, this list here, this list today,
Yeah,
Peter,
it's
what is
pretty no
going
good.
on? I
Yeah,
mean,
you know what we haven't seen yet today? Why haven't we? Yeah, oh, there you
uh,
go. There's the floating dumpster.
there's the flowing dumpster. I mean, it is just pure garbage. What is happening? Another comic dumpster there floating there. I mean, we just got all kinds of stuff. But all right, let's see. Let's see if we could find something here. Let's continue.
Yeah,
Next.
yeah. Look, there seems to be it seems to be in the water today because I can save you some time here because I don't know why there's so many of these companies that but ALM, SLM also secondary offerings. Um, Ollie is on here. OLI that had earnings, but I mean, does anybody care really? I mean, they had earnings. Their normal trading volume is well under a million shares a day, so that doesn't look good. I mean, at least Baba is on the list. At least we know them. Like we've heard of them before.
It's
They
an
got a
actual
downgrade
company.
today. Yeah, they were downgraded, so which is I guess maybe news that could move. It's sort of weird. I love these companies. This is an analyst company called a REIT. I've never heard of these guys, but anyways, they downgraded them to a neutral with a price target of $172. Notice the price it's 154. So they're thinking it's not a growth opportunity, yet their price target is a good 20% above, 15% above the current price. I don't know. Whatever. Analysts, you guys are all crazy. All right, I won't go on
Yeah.
another rant on that. Not at this moment.
All right. I don't think there's anything else for us to look at here. I mean, Bob is probably the best ticker on this gap down list. They're down 2.3, 483,000 shares traded. They have not been trading all that well, so normally I won't put them on the list. And HD is on here. What's going on with Home Depot? I thought they had earnings already. So
Yeah,
what's this about?
they reduced their outlook. They said next year they're expecting a extended downturn in home improvement activity. So they reduced their guidance, and that's got them gapping down. Yeah, not also a non-tradable entity there for the most part. Like we were saying earlier, though, guys, I mean, it looks like we're going to go back to a lot of the basics. Whether things are green or red, they're just barely green or red for the most part. So pick whichever one you want. Tesla, PLTR, they're both red, but less than 1%. Both are about 0.8% right there. They both look okay for today. I tend to go with Tesla, but I have to admit, I haven't traded it in a while. At least I'm trying to remember the last time I traded it. It's been at least a week, maybe longer, but I keep an eye on it because you never know when it's going to do something. But on the red side, we've got Google, Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, a whole bunch of them in there. So it's pick whatever. Pick whatever. They're all there. They're all just doing average stuff. Again, I'm not really surprised with this. If we can go back to that economic calendar, remember, there's not much happening today, but tomorrow we've got the Fed rate announcement. You guys were a few were asking about it. You probably joined a little bit late. That Fed rate decision will come out, and the computers will automatically assess it at 2 o'clock. And then the press conference starts 30 minutes later, where Powell gets on stage, gives some fixed comments, and then we get the Q&A, which is usually the most interesting part, and then the market will move a little bit more. Right now, we actually have a softening of the perspectives. Right now, the consensus estimate is 87%. Believe that we're going to get a 1/4 point rate cut. It was actually 89 yesterday, so that view is dropping a little bit. And we've got the balance, the 12.8% that think there'll be no change to the Fed interest rate. So it's not like, before we've seen it where it's like 96, 98% all are settled on a number. It's not quite as firm now, but obviously it's heavily leaning towards a 1/4 point. So what that generally means is that the less certain people are, the more likely the market will move a little bit more, because not everybody's aligned on a single view, right? Like if what everybody expects happens, then the markets don't really do much. However, if a lot of people are thinking a different direction, right, they're going to program their automated tools. Some of the Wall Street analysts are going to try and go counter trend, right, to try and capitalize on opportunity, and that can give us a little bit more movement. So we'll see. It could be interesting tomorrow afternoon, but it does mean today and tomorrow morning it might be a little quieter. Volumes might be a little lower. You got to be careful. That being said, you know what? I do like these days. I get my trades not at the open, but usually a little later. So we'll see where we go. Art
All
is
right.
pointing out Walmart. Walmart joining the Nasdaq. Oh yeah. It's Walmart debuts on the Nasdaq for the first time. Remember how they were moving
They were moving.
exchanges?
That's right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is a weird thing. So it looks like this is that actually. Thank you for pointing that out, Art. I don't know what to expect, because they normally get decent volume. I've never been a fan of Walmart. I don't like the way they trade, but despite the low volume this morning, they've only got about 35,000 shares, and maybe people are can't find them yet. But it would be interesting to see if it trades any better, at least better by my definition, by the way I like it. So might be worth keeping an eye on. Right now, doesn't look like it's doing anything particularly interesting.
Yeah, I don't see anything great on it. All right, let's continue, friends. Let's see what we got going on here. That actually that covers our gap down, Peter. That's everything we have here. You kind of went over some of the stuff that we might be looking at: AMD, Tesla, Nvidia, some of our usual suspects. Because man, this list right now not really giving us a whole lot. So on this list, I will add our usual suspect. I'm going to look at Tesla. We will look at AMD. We'll look at Nvidia, because we're just not getting anything that's different than what we got going on here. Just checking some stuff we had on yesterday. We had MRVL yesterday did move a little bit. Rivian, WB, and Oklo not really doing a whole lot this morning. So we'll leave those alone and just go with our usual suspects. All right, let's go to you guys. Let's start in our chat. What do you guys like this morning? So let's see what's on deck for you guys. If I can pull up the chat right over here. Nvidia, we have Baba. Javier, we looked at Baba earlier. Yeah, you know what? We have the space to look at it. I don't see why not. I mean, we don't really have a whole lot going on. It is down 2.4. I do see there was a couple of days. See, this is what's been happening, right? Lately, we've been just getting a lot of movement, a lot of gap up and down, but everything's happening after hours or pre-market. So you're not getting days like this one here, right? And but it looks like the last week or so we've been getting a couple of more days where you're getting some movement. But what we noticed is, and I mentioned this in the past, when you are getting these type of moves, you look at every other stock and they're also moving very well. So they're not doing this on their own. There's usually better opportunities when they're having that type of day. The market is selling off. You could look at some of our usual suspects and have a better opportunity. But today we have the space. We will definitely look at Baba and see if this gap down is going to project any good intraday action activity on it. So we'll take a look.
A couple that our members are mentioning here might be worth talking about because Chip and RBH, you guys are both right. CoreWeave, let's start there. CRWV, it's been moving the last few days. A little bit of increased volume yesterday. Had some decent movement as it sort of moved to a low of day and then bounced right back. So good movement on CoreWeave. I know that in the chat room, some members were talking about that through the day yesterday. Worth keeping an eye on. The other one that was moving yesterday was late afternoon anyways, was Broadcom, AVGO. Doesn't, it's not doing anything extra special today, but I love where it sits on the daily chart because it looks like it's got opportunity to, go up or down. It's just, it's sort of sitting here towards the highs, the all-time highs. And yesterday it actually hit an all-time high, but not all that aggressively, right? It hit it early and then sort of moved sideways. So it's tough to tell. Might be worth watching. It's just Broadcom's another one of those strange ones to me where you can watch this for days on end and have nothing, and then suddenly it'll just give you some fantastic trading opportunities. So
Yeah. All right, what else, friends? CVS is gapping up. Harvey, CVS is not usually great, but let's see. They are gapping up 2.8. Very light volume, 108,000 shares traded. So we have to wait for the market open to see when we get the volume. But for the most part, not doing anything great. Now I gotta tell you, man, the few times I watched this ticker, it has not traded well for me. So look at the move this year, though. I mean, they started the year close to about 47. They've been moving up pretty nicely here, especially from July to mid-October. Had a very nice move, 60 to about 82. So not bad. I thought this stock was much lower price than this. What was it last year? 45. Okay, maybe not as low price as I thought. Yeah, but we'll skip it for now. If anything comes back, we can always look at it. Let's see what else. CoreWeave, we do have Google. Looks good. Let's take a look. Google has been, we went through a stretch where Google was trading very well. If you guys remember that intraday action was very exciting, and you can see here on the daily where that was. You can see the increase in volume, breaking out through some of the resistance we had here. I believe we also hit all-time highs, right? Yeah, we hit all-time highs. We just kept breaking that, and we did very, very well. And we had one day where the market just didn't let it do its thing, but it came right back and it popped up pretty nicely. So since then, the volume has returned back to what seems to be normal. So I'm not sure. We'll have to watch it and see how it does at the market open. I will put it on a secondary just to see if any of that good action that we had about 2 weeks ago, maybe, if that can still continue. Netflix, I see a lot of people mentioning Netflix. We can watch Netflix. We can put it on a secondary. We got the space. Yes, I think that kind of does it for us. STAA from Will. STAA.
we did look at that a little earlier.
Yeah, this was on a gappers list. I mean, it's not typically a stock that I look at. I see what you're looking at here. Possible breakout, man. 2.2 million shares traded. I don't know. Just be careful. It is a 59 million shares flow, so it's kind of borderline low flow. I don't really love the pre-market activity in the daily on it, so I'll keep it off. But if you guys see something great on it, definitely call it out. We need more information on this one. We need to see how the market opens, comes in, and how that action trades, and if we continue to get good volume on this one. But look at it go there, man. Trying to break above 28 looks like. High of the pre-market 32.91. So it's been moving pretty aggressive this morning. All right, that's all I have, Peter. Anything else before we go to our community events and announcements?
No, I'm just playing with my snowball here. Look how much the snow has melted since we started the show. So the glass
There you
was
go.
full. Now it's, and there's no water in the glass. It's just become a beautiful snowball now. Should we have a
Look at
snowball
that.
fight? Anybody?
Look at that. Very, very nice.
Anyway,
Um.
all right.
All right. Me on the other hand, I'm enjoying my new mug, which again I don't know who created this mug, but you know
Okay.
you got to think about the right-handed person that's on camera. Got to put the logo on the right side.
Oh,
Okay. So
I
you
see.
can't put the logo just on one area. You got to put it on both sides. So then when I hold it up like this and I'm drinking, you can see the BBT logo. So gotta talk to the marketing guys about that. But everybody in Thailand got one of these, so this is real nice. You got a flag. We got a little gift bag, which is pretty cool. So hopefully you guys are enjoying your mugs this morning. All right, friends.
Clearly, it was designed for you and not for broadcast. So
Not for broadcast. Yeah, this was designed for you to look
gotta
at. Yeah, I need a special one.
broadcast mug.
Yeah, I need
Just
one that
become
promotes
left-handed.
it. Actually, I don't mind drinking left-handed, but the problem is the mic. It hits the mic. The mic is there, so I can't use the left hand. Yeah. All right. Guys, we're all set. Let's take a look what's happening later today. By the way, we have
Yes, I
some
was
people
gonna talk
joining
about
us for
Yes.
Tax Talk, right? So 10:30, we're gonna have Day Trader Tax, I believe is the name of the company.
Trader
New
Tax,
company. Yeah, we have not worked with them before, but Mike is working with them. He has switched from his previous company to this one. Says a lot of great things
Yep.
about it. So we
Yep.
look forward to talking to them later today. So it should be a lot of fun. Don't miss it. 10:30, they'll be joining us, and we'll be going over some questions and things that are important for traders. All right.
Yeah, we
With
got
that,
them. I think we've
Mhm.
got them twice today. Why don't we go to the community events and announcements? Because you're right, it's pretty exciting. That'll be on YouTube. So everybody, if you want to just get some questions answered, you want to talk tax, U.S. This is U.S. based, but if you're a U.S. based trader, then you want to be here so you can talk with our day trader tax people, and they will help you understand what's good, what's not, how you should think about your taxes, win or lose, right? You need to know how to manage the tax situation, and they can help you out. So they're going to be live with us here on YouTube today, and then tonight they're actually going to be back with us doing a more formal presentation for all of our elite members in the webinar room at 8 o'clock. So we really appreciate their time, and yeah, so Mike says great things about them. So pretty excited for all of you that could take advantage of this. So pay attention. If you're here, you can stay on YouTube. Join us at 10:30. Otherwise, or be back again for 8 o'clock when you'll see different material. We'll talk a little more structured way about taxes for US based traders. Don't forget, today we also have a catch up webinar. Jared had some internet issues the other day. Looks like things have stabilized. He's going to be delivering his long awaited strategy webinar on how you can put some steps together for your pre market prep from his point of view. He has a very structured way of trading, and he goes through his engineering the markets in the morning, but he's going to sort of take you behind the scenes about how does he get ready for that? What does he prep? What data does he look at? That'll be at 7 o'clock. So you got back-to-back webinars tonight, 7 and 8 o'clock in the webinar room. So 2 hours of fun and excitement if you're an elite member. So hopefully you'll join us for both of those this afternoon on this strategy and trade book day. If you want to join us and become an elite member, all you have to do is go to bearabletraders.com and scroll down to the bottom of that intro page. You can see the different offers from the intro to the elite annual. You've got to have an elite membership, though, to get to the live webinars. That's the way to do it. So pick one of those options, and you can be there tonight for both those webinars and take advantage of that. If you're out on YouTube, thank you for being here and sharing your morning with us. Click the thumbs up. It gives us a warm, fuzzy feeling, and it helps the growth of the channel. We deeply appreciate it. So all of that is good. And just the last little public service announcement. Just a reminder, our boot camp is starting in January. So a month, just under, I think, a month from now, we'll be starting the next boot camp. So go to peakcapitaltrading.com and you can find out about that. It's a 3-month, pretty intensive course. It's you won't be left alone. Like, you've got so much to do during that 3 months. It's pretty intensive, and it's really going to help you take your trade to the next level. So if that's something that interests you, go check out peakcapitaltrading.com. Okay, so Ben is asking, will the webinars today be recorded? Absolutely, yes. We always record them and put them in the education center for all of our elite members to look at their will. Now, if you want to ask questions and be part of the live conversation, you got to be there tonight. But yes, if you can't do that and you just want to watch the recording, don't worry. We'll get those posted up in the next couple of days after they're done.
All right, excellent. Thank you, Peter. Francis, get some levels in place. Again, I don't have a big list this morning, just a couple here. Tesla, some of our usual suspect, Tesla, AMD, Nvda, BABA, and then a couple of secondary stuff on there that we'll have to look at. If things get good, we can always take a look if they're tradable. Let's start with Tesla here. So Tesla this morning, again, down slightly, low of the pre-market right now. It's sitting at 435, just slightly below the lows from yesterday, right? So if you look at yesterday here's the low from yesterday, just slightly below that, 435. And if we look lower, we do have an area right around 429.25. And then right here, another one around a little bit lower, actually, it's the best one. There it is, around 424.62. Towards the top, the high of the pre-market just below the low of the previous day close at 438.62. Above that, you do have the previous day close, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days right in here. But we are missing this level, 445.51. Worth noting there, you got a couple of days, even going back here, using that as support. So good to have that level there as well, just in case we do decide to move higher. So that is Tesla. Right now, pre-market activity looking okay, right? It's moving, not great, a little bit choppy, but it is doing something there at least, and hopefully we can take advantage of it. Next is AMD. So if we take a look at AMD here, again, just kind of slightly above the previous day close. Also not doing a whole lot. High of the pre-market on this one is going to be over at 225 on the dot. So we'll slam a level there towards the bottom. The low of the pre-market is literally 3 cents above the previous day close. So I'm not going to worry too much about that. Previous day close going to be the main level there. And if you look at this, which is kind of stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, and just this area overall here, not a whole lot of movement lately, which is what we've seen. We've been seeing just a lot of choppiness in the market. We're not getting those great October, early November days, man, that were awesome. We're not seeing that right now. So we just got to be a little more patient. It takes a little bit longer to get our move, and we just got to just wait for those confirmations. So 229.42 I'm going to mark down. I also have down 234.66 on AMD towards the top in case we do get any kind of breakout one way or the other one. Nvidia, same exact thing. Again, nothing much going on. It's stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. You got the previous day closed down there as well. I am going to mark down the high of the pre-market at 189.87. And if we move to the left here, just in case, we do have a level around 191.80, and then a big level over at 195.62. Again, that type of move would be amazing. I don't think it's in the books today, the way the market has been trading lately. Towards the bottom, highs and lows for the last 2 trading days, you're pretty much set. Do not need to add anything else there. All right, let's take a look. What's the next one? BABA. All right, let's see what BABA does here. So BABA, again, loves to gap up and down. Doesn't really give you a whole lot of movement, although in this stretch here, these days did move very well, right? You got a lot of sell-offs here happening. Look, BABA loves the sell-offs. Gapped up, sold off, gapped up, sold off, sold off. I mean, it just loves selling off, looks like. So today we are gapping down. Pre-market action is showing some weakness. Let's see if this means anything. 155.40 is the high of the pre-market. Towards the bottom, the low of the pre-market, pretty tight range. The low is only at 154.33. So you got a pretty tight range there as far as the pre-market action. Let's see if this can break one way or another. So you can see again a very tight range this morning. Towards the top, you have the highs and lows for the last 2 trading days. Towards the bottom, if we break below this low of the pre-market, you do have an area around 153.13. and then another level over at 151.89. Again, not major levels like this one here that we have towards the previous day close, where we have so many touches, but you do have some support that's coming off some of the dailies on there as well for Baba. And that's pretty much it, guys. Not a blockbuster list today by any means. So really going to be sitting on our hands and waiting for that opportunity, right? It might take a while to get it, so we got to be extra patient today, given the way things are going. Peter, what is our team watching this morning?
Yeah, our moderators are starting to get their lists in so that we can see what they're watching. Thor, I think, was first in this morning, and he's taking a look at his normal futures accounts. He's also looking at Apple, AMD, and Tesla. I've got a potential IPO to let you know about, although it doesn't look likely it's going to open today, but I will let you know if it does. I'm going to be watching my usual suspects and Netflix, CoreWeave, and Broadcom. Why not? We'll keep an eye on those and see what happens. And then Phil is going to be watching Google NCLH. Boy, you haven't looked at that in quite a while. It's a cruise line there, Norwegian Cruise Lines. You'll be looking at that. MSTR and Nvda. Brian, who I believe is going to be trading live with us this morning, is going to be looking at Tesla, Nvidia, AMD, PLTR, Google, and of course the market indices. So there you go. For some of our mods, we got a number of people that are traveling. I know Mike is. He's probably happy now. He's been talking. You guys know he was here with me last week. He was talking about going to the Dominican Republic and sitting on a beach. So I know. Yeah, assuming he made it and his travel was good. Is he there yet, or is he leaving today? I forget. Anyways, hopefully he's on a beach and having fun. One way or the other, he's going to be there soon, and I know that's good. I'll live vicariously through him. He is, and Andrew's here. He's going to be trading live this morning. And we'll probably be trading Tesla and Netflix, because that's what he looks at every day. Megan just put her list up there. She's going to be watching Apple and CoreWeave. And we will get started here in just under 10 minutes to the market. As Carlos said, guys, not a blockbuster day. However, don't let that dissuade you. I actually like these days. I know you hear me say it a lot, but it's true. I get some of my best trades when you just don't have these big move or swings and, right at the open. It works for me. So, you can always have a trading style that gives you opportunity in any market. Just be calm. Just don't force anything. And, if you can stay out of trouble long enough, you're likely to find good opportunity and make your trading successful. So with that in mind, let's go forth and conquer. Let's have a great trading day. Stay warm, everybody. It is really cold out there. So
it is freezing. All right, friends over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Aldred forgot to hit the thumbs up yesterday on the show. So he's apologizing. He forgot to hit the like yesterday.
Oh, no.
And we're devastated. We're devastated because I think that's why we didn't hit our goal. Because Andrew did not hit the thumbs up. So, all good, my friend. You can make up for it today by hitting that thumbs up. All right. But thank you so much, man. All right. We're all set. We'll wait for Andrew and Brian to hop on into the chat, and we'll hand it off to these guys, and then they'll take our chat room. If you want to join Andrew and Brian, guys, you can do so by heading over to bearwithtraders.com. Join there and watch these guys trade live. Me and Peter will continue here in our YouTube feed. There it is, Brian. Hop it on over.
Oh. Join in with the thumbs up. I like it.
Yeah, he's got his thumbs up as well.
The light's on. The donuts are warm. He's ready to go. So.
He's ready to rock, friends. All right, everyone. We'll leave you guys in the chat. Have a great trading day. We'll catch up with you guys a little bit later. Remember, 10:30 today, we have our tax webinar. Don't miss that. So chat you guys in a bit.
Okay, guys. We'll keep going here.
Yeah,
I'm just getting everything set up and configured so I can watch all the stuff we said. Get Broadcom over here in case Broadcom decides to move. CoreWeave. Watch CoreWeave. Oh. CoreWeave made a interesting move this morning. What else do I want to watch? Tesla, Nvda. I've got a few things. We still have Carlos out there?
I'm here.
He's there.
I'm here.
Okay,
Yep, yep,
just making sure you're there. All right.
yep. Here, setting up and getting ready to rock and roll.
Okay.
Mm-mm-mm. All right, let's set things up. Man, I am so tired. This is insane.
All
Nvidia.
right. Well, we'll see what Nvidia can do here this morning. It's green, but it's been moving down for about I don't know. It's really been moving down pretty much all morning. So
Which one, Peter?
Nvidia.
Oh, Nvidia.
I want to see because yesterday I remember we were talking about that big pop it had midday. That was on the news that Nvidia is going to be allowed to sell their high performance chips into China, of course, with a 25% kickback going to the government. So it's which is it's tough to follow, right? Because they're allowed to sell them, they're not allowed. They're allowed with as long as they pay the ransom. It's a strange. It's got to be a strange world if you're sort of one of the executives at these chip companies, because the game has changed, right? It's not just about managing your sales pipeline and your relationships. You now got to manage the politics as well, and there's a great opportunity if you can do it well. So it creates a trading opportunity, and I think that's fun, right? That gives us some interesting opportunities. So let's see what it brings today. It's again, good news for the company, I would think. And we're green, but leaning down a little bit. So I think that I just hope it moves. Let's see if it moves. And Broadcom is just moving down this morning. Netflix moving up.
Okay.
Okay. I've got everything queued up, Carlos. I'm ready to go.
Yep, same here, man. Got everything set. My 1 minute, my 5 minute. We are
Just
ready.
waiting. I don't have anything lined up for this morning. I don't know where things are going to go.
Same here, man. I don't have anything that I can say is front and center. So just waiting.
Tesla is looking weak, but it's tough to know.
What is Andrew watching? AMD, Tesla, and Nvidia. Yeah, it's a very, very tight list. Oh, Brian's got PLTR. I don't have PLTR. Let's take a look at what PLTR is up to. Not much right now. Yes, I am back. It's good to be back. Thank you, brother. Good to be back on the seat here. Not good to be back in this freezing weather, but good to be back. Good morning, Juan. Good to see you, my friend. Good morning. Good morning, Amazon. Let's take a look. Amazon. Pretty quiet right now, right? It can trade well, though. Pretty quiet for the most part, but we got the space.
Yeah.
Like today, if you
Can.
want to watch Amazon, you can.
Yeah.
I don't see it
Good
doing
morning, Juan.
anything great.
Let's see. Oh,
So
why is such a
look at
giant?
Tesla doing some stuff. Tesla's waking up.
Yeah. Why is
Let's get
Phil
the
watching?
Atlas.
Why is Phil watching the cruise lines? NCLH. It's just
He
weird.
knows something we don't know. What does
I don't
Phil
know.
know?
Doesn't look like it's doing anything. I don't. Tesla's popping up here.
Yeah, see that? Tesla's showing some action.
But Nvidia's dropping to yesterday's close. It just went red momentarily. I was hoping that it was going to pop higher and then drop, and I could get a short on it at the open. I'm sort of looking that way, but I don't know now. Now that it's sitting at yesterday's close, you just have to look at yesterday's chart to see how it bounced off of the previous day close. Likes to do that.
Yep.
So, all right, we got a minute to the open.
Yeah, you could barely hear. I hear him fine. Are we having that issue again? I know.
Maybe I'm
Gotta
not
get the
close
mic
to the
closer.
microphone. I am sort of
Okay.
I'm wandering away from it.
Yeah, that could be it.
All right, I'll try and keep my face closer to the mic.
Tesla, what are you doing? Stop it. Wait for us. What is this nonsense? AMD going red, Nvidia going red, Baba not doing anything. So those are my 4 tickers today. Tesla, very interesting. Market Atlas. Yeah, that's what I meant to open up here. TradingTerminal.com. Market Atlas.
Here we go. Opening bell. Oh, where's?
Here it is, friends.
Oh my God.
Let's see what we got. Tesla doing some stuff.
No.
AMD going red.
Pop up first. Go on,
Nvidia dropping. Baba not getting the volume just yet. Google doing some stuff. Netflix dropping. That could be interesting. Look at Netflix. That's interesting. Could be fun.
Netflix, yeah, dropping here again. Where's Nvidia? Nvidia doesn't really have orders sitting anywhere. Oh, come on.
Netflix. All right, we're going to be patient today, friends.
All right. All right.
Nvidia, AMD, yeah, both Nvidia and AMD dropping here, friends. And Atlas does show Nvidia.
I'll admit,
little bearish.
Yeah, I've gone short on Nvidia. I'm a little ashamed that I chased it, but it's working, and I got a partial. You can see here on my chart, and we'll just
not bad.
hoping to get
ORB.
get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not my typical. But it did look weak, and I was short biased on it, so I'll take another partial below. Here we go. So it's taking another partial below 184. So all right. So there we go. An initial trade on Nvidia for me.
Yeah, both Nvidia and AMD, man, showing a lot of weakness. I see a lot of you guys in chat went short AMD as well. So good stuff. But yeah, both Nvidia and AMD showing some weakness here. Yes, MVP Peter is using Dash Trader Pro. So his screen right now, that's Dash. It just has a little bit different colors.
Yes.
He has the darker borders because you could do dark theme as well. So, but yeah, he is using Dash Trader Pro.
Yeah. And that's not what I normally look at. Admittedly, my screens are I look at most of my other screens are black. I only do the white for display purposes. I prefer the black background, but yes, it's very customizable. You can make it look like anything you want, pretty much. We're getting some more move down here on Nvidia. I've got to wait
Yeah.
for another dollar, one below 183. I can take another partial. Otherwise, I'm just going to hang on here. Okay.
PLTR. PLTR. Yeah, PLTR could be good. Could be interesting here. Come above the previous day close. Let's see how this 5 minute closes and
it's
there's any opportunity.
it's it's stuck in a zone I don't like, Carlos. It's right between the VWAP and the previous day close right now, and things can chop in those zones. I don't like it when the price sits between those two, personally.
Yeah,
But
yeah. I agree. I would love
but
for
you
it to
know,
close above.
you do you.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. But we'll see. Let's see how the 5 minutes closes. Again, I don't see a strategy on it right now, but we'll have to see. Now below the VWAP, Tesla is looking a little messy. Uh, don't see anything I love yet,
So this
friends.
morning I was watching our Atlas tool and trying to get a feel for Nvidia. It actually wasn't that helpful, I have to admit, because there was just no orders. There wasn't a lot of really big orders anywhere.
Yeah,
So it's still, so when I had no data, I just went back to the chart and it looked weak to me. So I leveraged the chart more than the order book, the level two and Atlas data. And sometimes that's why you've got a mix of measures. At least personally, that's why I like to have the different tools in my kit bag, right? Because sometimes you get great indicators of one. Sometimes you get good indicators off of a different one. So as long as they're not in conflict, then you have opportunity. So all right. So Netflix sorry, Nvidia might be coming back up to
yeah.
stop me out. Maybe it was a short term drop. Tough to say.
Yeah, I see it, friends. I see it, Tesla. I'm looking at it here on another screen as well. I'm looking at Andrew trading
Yeah.
Tesla also. He's trading TSLL and I think Tesla as well. So he's trading both of them, and he's just got the breakout, partial, partial, partial. Looking really, really nice there. So, um,
Of course he does. It's Andrew.
yeah, yeah. So beautiful breakout trade there. Not an easy trade to take, but man, his entry's really good. All right, AMD, Nvidia. How about PLTR? PLTR stuck, not doing anything. Netflix trying to maintain above the previous day close. I don't see any strategy here. Uh, yeah, Tesla 5 minute RB is just awesome. Like right here, this is a 5 minute RB, just perfect. You got another level here, so I think this 430, I think it's a pre-market high. So we talked about it being, it's just kind of stuck in that range. I think that's the pre-market high, and again, just a beautiful breakout. So yeah, it's nice. See if we can continue here. Baba's breaking out as well. Nvidia not doing much. AMD trying to get above the VWAP. But I don't see anything I love right now. GLE, yeah, careful with that one. Papa Smurf, PE, PAE, yeah, this dangerous. These penny stocks, so just be careful.
Yeah, the market's moving higher, so that may be the end of my Nvidia trade. Still hanging in there, but don't forget to give a thumbs up. We appreciate that. Helps the channel, as I've said.
Yes. Where are we sitting at? Let's take a look. Where are we? I'm looking at AMD, guys. Is that the VWAP? Let's see if we get a nice VWAP breakout. I don't like the fact that the previous day close is that close, but that could be a partial if we get a good breakout. So just looking out for that one. 300 likes so far. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. That is pretty good for 938. Not complain about that. MSRT. MSRT. What are we trying to do here? Volume could be better, but
MSTR, yeah. No.
yes, MSTR. I said
There we go.
MSRT, but MSTR.
That's okay. All right, I'm out of Nvda. It came back up to my break even, so I just let it stop me out. So, all right, quick, sort of an initial trade. Didn't get a big move on it, but a few bucks in the pocket.
Yes, yes. I like AMD long. I don't like what the previous day closes. And I think that since it's been consolidating here, I think it's going to break and not give us a pullback the way I would like to see it. I think if it does go, I think it's just going to go. I don't think it's going to do the nice
PLTR just went green.
pullback and confirmation. That's another one too that had a nice potential
Oh,
breakout here
sorry.
above the previous day close.
Just went red again.
Yeah, you was right for about 2 seconds, maybe 3. With this spike here.
Right
So
when I
see.
looked at it, it was at the top of that candle, and then it just dropped right down there. So
I like it for a long though. I gotta tell you, it looks like it wants to break.
it does.
You know,
Oh, you know what? I've got to do this split view.
Nvidia, AMD's falling apart.
Yeah.
So we're not jumping on that. AMD did not give us our move, so
how do I reverse the order of the split? Oh, I don't like that.
WVE, you guys like this one? I don't see how you could trade it. It is pretty wild right now, so be cautious.
There we go.
How are you guys trading this one? You guys long on this thing or short? How are you trading it?
The split view is awesome. Okay. All right.
PLTR also failed. Did not break. All right, friends, nothing yet for me. Don't see anything I love right now. So we'll get something. We'll get something. Just got to be more patient. That's what happens usually when this market is choppy. It just becomes more difficult to find opportunities. You just got to be a little more patient. That's all. So don't force anything. We'll get what we're looking for. Tesla was one of the best trades today, man. Look at this thing. Looks like it wants to go some more here. Let's see if we can get towards the high. Path, PHT. Good move, but hard to actually trade that, given the volume. So that'd be the easiest thing. All right, what do we have? Paths going again. Oh,
Path.
look at that.
Mm.
WVE, guys. See what I'm talking about? Look at that drop, man. 50 cents drop out of nowhere like that. These stocks, it's gotta be careful.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Wow. Yeah,
just
that's
50 cents drop and
it'll
then
be hard if it's
another
trading in a
50
range.
cents.
Especially
Man, it's
especially
tough.
it spiked to what looked like it was going to do a high of day, right? At the 2020 just the minute
Yeah.
before, and then imagine that, then it would have just sold off so fast. That would have just been that would have been horrible.
Yeah, that's tough trading. That is tough stock to trade.
Yeah.
So, and it's not even a low flow. This one is 130 something, I believe. But today it's trading like a low flow. So be very careful. Looks like it wants to go lower too. Oh yeah, it's gonna head towards the low of the day, and I
Oh,
won't be
Nvidia looks
surprised
like it
if you're
wants to go
dropping.
lower.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not in Nvidia. That's too bad. I could have got back in Nvidia. Oh well.
Yeah, it's a tough trade. Man, I don't see anything. I'm scrolling. I don't see nothing I
Oh,
can join in. WBE is
Nvidia.
going to go lower. LTR
Andrew's heading from Dubai to Vienna.
makes
Why
sense. Is that
not?
is that is that like closer? Right, he's gonna inch his way over to the West
Yeah.
Coast. he is
Yeah,
not.
I
He
I
is
don't know
not
that
taking
really
a
puts them
direct
any
flight.
closer. It puts
It's what is
them
it, north?
farther north, I guess, but
Yeah, it's closer.
yeah.
Because Vancouver, you probably go up,
I mean,
right? You probably go. It's
yeah.
probably go. Yeah, that's closer.
Yeah, I
He's probably gonna
guess.
stop. Maybe
But
he'll stop in
not
Toronto. If
not
he
but
stops in Toronto, we'll go meet him, Peter. We'll go meet him and hang
could
out with him.
could be. Yeah, sure. It's just a drive for me. I can drive down there.
Yeah, I'll work my way up there. Um, oh, this is cool. What's this? Whose car is this?
What are we
This is awesome.
what car are we
Who is
talking
this?
about?
John? Is this
Oh.
John driving and look at the charts?
Where's this from? Somebody put that in the chat room?
Andrew sent me this.
Oh,
Andrew
okay.
sent me this. Yeah, so I don't know
Ah.
who's that.
Yeah, that looks
Very
like it could
nice.
be John. Like, yeah, that seems interesting.
Why not? Let the car do his thing and you
Keep,
enjoy the show.
I guess. Keep your eye on the
Awesome.
road, though. You know,
Nice.
even if the car is driving, just in case.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I don't trust it. I don't trust it.
Yeah.
But that's just me. All right.
PLTR,
Tesla.
PLTR.
Tesla's moving a little higher.
Things are breaking. I'm gonna get along here. I just don't know where and which ticker. But I am gonna get along somewhere in here. Oh, look at WVE. Just what a
Yeah,
disaster,
really
guys.
selling off now. A
Boy, oh boy.
disaster.
Damn, PLTR, guys. PLTR. Yeah, I see AMD. I like AMD. But I want my strategy here if we can get it. I don't like it so much, as you guys know, when it's just kind of hovering below the VWAP and then we get the breakout. I kind of like when it does this, gives us the move, and that's better for me. But you know, it can still work. It can still work. It's not ideal, but it can still work. So let's see if we get the pullback here, and if we get the confirmation. Here's a mini pullback. And let's see if we can get 30 seconds left for this candle.
Mm. I think I don't know. AMD's pretty. I don't know. Doesn't feel as strong as it could be. CoreWeave. weave. Core weave's a tough one. It's a lot of overlapping candles here. I don't like the way it's moving. It's
Yeah.
funny how when you look at these like WVE looks good in on the chart, but if I look at how it's actually trading, it's not. It's it's jerky. It's not trading with very smooth price action. So I mean, the volume looks okay, but there's something about the way it's moving that, like, if you just look at the time and sales. I don't know if anybody looks at time and sales charts, but if you look at the time and sales, the orders are moving so slow compared to Nvidia, for example, or a
Yeah.
Tesla, and how fast the orders just flow down the screen. So Tesla and Wave Life have roughly the same shares traded today. Tesla's a little bit more, but just let's see if I can do this. Let's pop this out for you guys. I'm gonna put this on my screen just so you guys can see what we're talking about here. Let's do this here.
Oh man, AMD. Okay. Going long AMD.
So,
Let's see what
oh,
happens. Long AMD. I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it, but let's give it a shot.
so here, guys, on the screen. On the left, I've got the time and sales of Wave Life, and on the right, I've got one for Tesla, and let's put a third one here, and we'll give you Nvidia. So if you just look at these three side by side, just look at how relatively fast they're scrolling, right? And you can
Yeah.
see, Tesla's, which is the middle one, Nvidia, which is the right hand one. They're just moving so much faster than Wave Life WVE, which is getting volume, but it's just not. The order flow is a little less active. Like there's bigger share sizes, you notice in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm noticing a lot of bigger size, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just understand how that trading works because it affects how the stock moves and what you can expect from it. So I'm just more used to, the Nvidia and the Tesla type movement rather than a wave life type of volume. So just for observation.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense. Uh, so you might have it. If your VWAP is a little bit different, you might have it. There's two ways the VWAP is calculated, right? You might have it. Hold on, I'll show you. You might not be calculating pre-market hours. Mine actually does calculate pre-market and post hours, so it might be a little bit off. So let's see. For example, but I hate when that happens. You made it big.
I know.
I hate
Remember
when
we
that
figured out how
happens.
to do this the other day? Windows down arrow. There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I
Windows
wrote it down
down.
this
Yeah.
time. I wrote it down so
Yeah.
that I would remember.
You'll forget. Yeah, yeah. All right. So if you come here to study and you click on VWAP config, I believe it is here. If you take this off, do not calculate after hours, it'll be a little bit different, right? So it'll be a little bit lower. Not by much though. See how I moved? It's not by much. It's not a big deal. Some people have both. You can add both to it, but I have it calculating. This is the way I have it. See, but it's not really a big difference, right? So, that could be the difference between the way you have it and the way I have it. Yeah, so that was John. So Andrew did confirm that's John. He's driving around,
Okay.
doing his thing there in the Tesla. Good for him.
Poor John. Tesla's the only car that survived his last week. He had his family was in like two car accidents 20 minutes apart.
Yeah, man.
How
That
crazy is
sucks.
that? Yeah, no
Well, what are
kidding.
the coincidence, man, right?
I know. I know they were totally unrelated,
Yeah.
things as far as I know. Just happened. So I thought one must have been the Tesla, but apparently not. It was his son and his wife and their respective cars. So his Tesla
Yeah.
was still good back at home. But,
All right. AMD's trying, but really struggling here. Giving it a dollar stop. We almost got stopped out, but our stop is 219.34. It's a dollar from our entry, so it's right around here, 219.30, 33, 34, right here. So let's see. Let's see if we can hold here. We're really struggling. Actually, looks like it wants to go lower. Looks like it wants to go much lower than 219.34. Yep, so we're out. Right, got stopped out there, guys. Hit our stop on a AMD, and not looking good. Nvidia, everything's kind of moving down except Baba and Tesla, the only two that I have on my main list that are on the way up. Look how great Baba traded today, and I wasn't watching it. Nvidia's down, AMD's also down, and Tesla kind of getting a little bit choppy here, but still holding its move up. Yeah, AMD's not giving it to us today. Sure is not. Spine. Yeah, Qs are just sideways, man. They're so choppy. I hope it's not like this until tomorrow. Because we're not getting anything special tomorrow. Nothing. We're going to get exactly what we expect. So I don't know why we're not trading as good. Yeah, I can't read Nvidia at all. It's just staying in a range. Yeah, Nvidia's tough to read as well. AMD might come back up here, but I probably wouldn't join that again. And there's really nothing in play, man. Like these days are tough. There's nothing in play. Look at CoreWeave. Look at PLTR.
it's a
There's
little
just
quiet.
nothing that we love here. Uh, AMD, Tesla. All right, well, yeah, just gotta sit and wait. Sit and wait.
Yep. And wait, Nvidia. I should have stuck with my Nvidia. Still
Meta
tough.
was
It's
a
not
nice
going. It's
short.
not going that far.
Mm-hmm.
What Meta? Yeah, Meta
Yeah, it sold
dropped.
off pretty nice. Yeah. Chris, yeah, it's one of those days, man. Yep, it's one of those rare days. So if you
Well,
haven't taken a trade, that's nothing wrong with that. Only one trade for me here, and I don't see anything else that I love right now. So
just reminder on the economic calendar, tomorrow's the big day, right? We got the Fed rate announcement that's coming up tomorrow at 2 p.m. So we might see lower volumes. In 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes, we do have the jobs coming out, the JOLTS job numbers. So we'll see. I'll let you know what that looks like when it comes out. But I don't think it's going to have a market impact. Keep in mind, this is delayed data. This is from October. So, how relevant is the October jobs number to a December 9th market? So, you can answer that for yourself because I honestly don't know. I guess I won't know until, well, 3 minutes from now. So,
yeah, we'll see.
so we shall. I think we might actually get. Oh, is this September data? Yeah, September. October? God, might even be later than I thought. Apparently, we might get September and October data out at the same time
Mm.
on the job openings.
All right, Hopefully, I do something. We need some action. We need something. We need something
Yeah,
to
so be good if you
move
get
this
something to
market.
poke this market into action.
AMD.
October. Actually, I think this is September. They've updated it now. I guess I'll wait and see when it comes out. I won't change anything, but it looks like we might have job data coming out for September and October. We'll see. I think we had a
I think
September
Tesla.
forecast.
Tesla's just pushing. Looks like it wants to go higher, but again, I don't have a strategy up here for this. Yeah, choppy price action. Look at the cues. Nothing's happening. Yeah, I did. I did take a look at that. There's very, very choppy, and you're seeing that in some of these tickers. Look at AMD, right? It's just right back to the VWAP. So after looking so weak, looks like it's gonna go back up. So not really in play. Tesla testing the high of the day. Looks like it wants to go. Netflix broke out from the VWAP. That's a tough trade. Only 30 cents from the VWAP. So that's a hard trade to take after it's just been chopping around there on Netflix, right? So not an easy trade to pull off. WVE back up $1. Stock is crazy. PLTR. Yeah, I don't see. Oh man, Tesla. Very nice. Very nice, very nice. Anybody trade Tesla long? I'm long Tesla, but don't know when it will stop. All right, I'm glad you're long in it. Nobody knows when it will stop, but if you're long, make sure you're, following your trade management plan, whether that is to put money in your pockets at a certain area. Just make sure you follow your plan. It will stop eventually, but right now it is looking awesome the way it's moving higher here. So that's really good. Really, really good.
Yep. All right. Let's see what we got here. Where is our jobs data? I don't see it yet. Come on, jobs data. Market doesn't seem to have dropped momentarily. Maybe somebody saw the data. I don't see it here yet.
All right, Tesla going for 445. Atlas is showing 445. Let me check as well. What do we have for Tesla? Yeah, big orders at 445. You also have 446. It's funny, every whole dollar above on Tesla's got numbers. But yeah, 445 is the next one. And we got pretty close.
So it's slowly coming out. The job openings for October came out, which is 7.67 million. The weird thing is we don't have a forecast for October because remember the government was shut down in October when they would have created the forecast. So I've got a number with no forecast, and then for September we got a forecast with no number. So so that's probably why the market hasn't reacted much because there's nothing to react to. Like we said, not only is it older data, but it's not like we've got nothing to compare it to. So it's tough to say is it good or bad, right? Like it just doesn't mean anything either way. So
yeah. CoreWeave is going green, my friends. Yeah, I see AMD. Beautiful breakout here. Couldn't take it because it didn't give us a pullback. But look at that. Looks like it wants to go green. Nvda coming up to the VWAP. There it is, AMD going green. Very nice. Tesla getting that 445. Still tons of orders at 445 on Atlas. You can see that right here. So tons of orders there. And yeah, look at that. Picking those orders up. Excellent.
Wow, there goes AMD. That's the move you were looking for, Carlos. It's just a shame that it decided to pull down before it gave you that. Before it
Yeah.
did that.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was looking for. But man,
Yep.
and then when it breaks up, it
Sometimes.
doesn't give you this did not give me a pullback either. Right? So it just went. Like this is a
Right.
very hard trade to take, right? So
Yep. All right. So we do have the September job openings data that just came out.
mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
we did have an estimate back in September, and it was interestingly it was 7.2 million. The number came out. It looks like it's 7.658 million. So, so maybe that's why the market did pop here about 2 minutes late when that jobs data finally did come out. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's what caused this short term pop, but it could be. So. The Qs almost went green, but not
Mm.
quite.
Uh, just trying to see what's setting up around the VWAP. Nvidia's trying, but you can see it failed here. So it couldn't get above it. AMD, it's gone off the VWAP already, so into previous day close, and yeah, nothing that looks great. Mhm.
Mm. Fairly quiet, Carlos, like you've been saying. It's
Yeah,
I said I don't mind these days. Like I acknowledge that it's not as exciting at the open. You don't get the big moves, but they can sometimes set up for my better moves midday. So if you're an all-day trader, don't don't despair. The opportunities
yes,
may yet be out there, especially with things like Tesla that are moving a little higher, AMD that's starting to get some momentum now. So that's good because once the momentum runs out on AMD, there might be a reversal opportunity. If you're watching the WVE, it's tough. I don't love the way the price action works on it, but I can argue that it's gotten some moves. It went all the way down here, went red. Now it's pretty much all the way back up to the open area. Not quite, but
yeah,
close. So sort of a little bit of a strange movement there, but and then you guys were watching Path. Path went higher sort of initially. Not an easy trade there. PLTR, another one that wasn't easy. Like you can say, oh, it's higher, but look at how wavy. Like that would have been
yeah.
really hard
It's
to sort of
how
get
do you
in and
trade that,
hold. Yeah,
right?
at least the way we trade, Carlos, it would have been really hard to sort of get in and hold that. So
G-Man, are the transaction fees in the funded account taken out immediately after each trade? That's a great question that I actually do not know the
I
answer
think
to.
I
Um,
don't. I think they're calculated at the end of each day, but I'm not positive on that.
yeah, I'm not sure. Um, how can we check? We could try here. Let's see.
They are live. Cameron says they're live.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Each trade,
That would make
Patrick
sense.
Allen saying each trade. So there you go. So people that know better than us.
Instant.
So they're saying it's coming out on each trade. So there you go. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
nice.
There you go.
Very nice. Very nice.
Keep in mind, it's a simulated account. So the intent is to simulate what real trading would look like. So I guess it makes sense if they do it live. The fees are simulated too, right? Because there's no real fees.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but it's better to know what it looks and feels like from a trading perspective, in the real world. rather than because we've had that where people like trade these crazy volumes and think, oh, look at this, I'm doing well. And if you get a simulator account that doesn't calculate fees at all, and then you sort of, then you actually go and do the real math, or you get into a live account and you're like, I don't understand why it's not working. Well, when you actually have to pay fees and all of that, it doesn't quite work as
Can't trade like
seamlessly
that.
as you'd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can. There's the scalping. We were talking about this the other day, actually, last week when you were off, Carlos. That scalping is a very legitimate trading approach. It's just it
Mm-hmm.
requires a different perspective and philosophy, and you need to understand how that works. So you can scalp successfully. People do, but it's different than sort of how we do it, how a momentum trader does it, or how sort of a longer term pattern trader might do it.
Right, right.
So.
Yep, I see that Nvidia at VWAP, but it is struggling, right? So it's having a hard time getting above that.
Yeah.
Actually, it's using it as rejection right now. So let's see. I think we'll break through it. Is it going to give us a nice, good setup for us to take? Netflix might break higher. Again, not a strategy of mine.
No.
How come I'm having a hard time changing this? Netflix. Okay. What if I put Apple here? Hmm. Interesting.
Don't forget, everybody, 20 minutes. We've got our tax experts coming on. Going to be talking to you live here on YouTube, and they'll be for all of our elite
Yeah.
members in the Bearable Trading Room. They'll be on again tonight with a more formal presentation. But looking forward to that conversation. We're going to have some guests interview them and answer your questions. So if you've got some questions, which I'm sure you do, about taxation, then it's these are the experts who you want to talk to. So. Stick around. Stick around with us. And I'm just
Yeah, we
watching.
got a couple of scalpers in the room. I don't scalp myself
Yeah.
often. I have scalped before, no question, but I'm not a big
The,
scalper.
yeah. The other problem with the term scalping is that it's been used by so many different people different ways. It's sometimes tough to know, like, what do you mean when you're asking about scalping? What do we mean when we're
Yeah.
answering about scalping, right? Because it can sort of mean a broad range of trading approaches. So generally, when I
Uh
say it, I mean really short-term trading. You were talking about seconds to a couple of minutes maximum, where you're taking partials like they could be 5 cent, 10 cent partials is a big one. So you're really trading for sort of quick trades, low gains per trade, but large number of trades. That's what I'm thinking
yeah,
of when I say scalping.
correct. It's all relative, right? Because somebody could look at us and say, you look at my 5 minute RB or my VI breakout, how quickly we get in and out, and they could think of that, well, that's scalping, right? You're not holding through to like 7 hours or to the end
Yeah.
of the day. So it's all relative, right? So
Yep.
um, and then for me, I look at a scalp as someone that's getting 5 cents, 10 cents, it's getting out very, very quickly, heavy
Right.
size. So,
Yep.
but there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong
There
with
you go.
that.
Candy. Candy loves
Oh, there
green.
it is. Yeah.
Is a scalper. Is Andrew considered a scalping trader? So Freeman goes, that's a good question. Again, depends on your definition. I wouldn't consider him a scalper. He's a momentum trader, by the way I word it, but other people would call him a scalper because he is in and out pretty quickly. He doesn't go for the 5 cent moves. He is trying to hold generally for slightly bigger moves,
Yeah.
but he's doing it in a very short time frame. So this is where, it depends on your definition, right? Do you base it on the time frame? Do you base it on the size of the move? You could also do it size of move relative to his leverage. I mean, he goes in heavy size, big leverage, and then takes
Mm-hmm.
pretty quick partials. So, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't argue with you too much if you want to call him a scalper. By my definition, I wouldn't put him in that category, but it's not unfair. right?
Exactly.
You'd say I'm a scalper. At times, I do exhibit scalping behavior, especially at the open. The open trades are a lot scalpier than what I do later in the day. But so
What a boring day as far as trading goes.
Carlos is not
Is it
having
me
fun.
or what? I am
No,
not
well,
having fun, man. This
it's
is
not setting up for your trade
yeah,
strategies really. So
yeah, my strategies are not in play today.
no.
That's for sure. And it's funny because I'm scrolling through everything and there's nothing where I see where I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, you could have taken that trade. No,
I mean,
nothing.
no, not even Tesla.
Tesla
Maybe Tesla.
on a five
No.
minute RB. Yeah, that's probably the only one. 5 minute RB on Tesla. That's probably the only one
And
that
you
I could
and you
say,
did
hey, yeah,
Yeah, and you mentioned it in the moment that you sort of
I
missed that,
did.
right? Like I remember
Yeah,
you seeing that 5 minute and said, "Oh, geez, like there was a potential opportunity." But you know, sometimes you're just not looking at the right thing at the right time, and that
yeah,
happens too.
yeah. And it was I found it to be a tough trade. Andrew took it perfectly, but here with the previous day close, I don't like the previous day close being so close to where I
Right.
would at least want to break out of that, right? So that's a tough trade to take, um, but it is what it is. So yeah, that broke out very very nice. WVE. I mean, it's in play, man. It's heavily in play. Uh, but like I don't have a strategy for stocks that trade like this, and the price action is a little bit weird. It's gonna get even more funky once it starts losing volume here. So just be careful with that as well. Next stop 2015. You think 2015? Let's see. Let's see. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
Bob is breaking down from the VWAP. Very light volume, so not ideal.
Yeah, this Nvidia, it's really hitting its head on the VWAP today.
Yeah, struggling to get above that.
I mean, it seems to have support at 184, but then it keeps hitting its head around, well, wherever the VWAP is. Look at how many times it sort of bounced off of that if you look at a 1 minute chart. And one, two, three, four, five times at least. So it's
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
AMD's much better. I agree. And had a beautiful breakout here and just did not give us one simple pullback. That's all we needed. One pullback, one confirmation, we would have joined long again. Probably would have had the same entry here. I think it was like 34, right? 220, 34 or something. But yeah, it's did not do that. Just left us behind in the dust.
Left
Tesla.
us in the dust.
Yeah, man. All right. Maybe. Maybe Walden. I don't know. It might just keep going here. It might be doing this consolidation here and go for another leg. I could easily see that happening. Yeah, Mike. It was a boring day for me at least and the stuff I was watching. Um, and my strategy so not great. Mike? Are you at the beach yet? Are you down with down at the Caribbean? I think Mike is transitioning. I think he had a stopover in Charlotte. He mentioned earlier. Apple looks good for long. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe. Everything's a maybe right now. Everything is a maybe. Yeah, so down in Charlotte, then he's gonna you arrive at 4:15, just in time for happy hour. Although I think when you're on vacation, happy hour starts at like around 12, so it doesn't matter. Um, it really doesn't matter. All right, Mountain Pass on Tesla. Let's see. Peter, thoughts?
It's a little early for a mountain pass. I see what you're looking at potentially, but we didn't really get a huge volume spike when we hit that high of day back just after 10 a.m. So I'd be skeptical. I'm worried that it's potentially going to go higher. So short answer for me, no, I'm not. I wouldn't be taking it. Oh, Carlos. You know, it's funny how we're in this nascent age of AI and everybody's using AI tools
Yeah.
to create things, and you got to be so careful with AI because now it's really hard to sometimes tell an AI like video, especially AI is getting really good at creating videos. But then
Mm-hmm.
everyone's, but then if you're really paying attention, there's stuff like I was just watching this somebody sent me this video that I was looking at, and it was, they said, "Oh, this looks like a cool movie," but it wasn't. It was like a fake AI thing,
Trailer.
right? To make it
Yeah.
look like it was a trailer for a movie. And it's one of those where they say, so I like looking at the comments because people pick things out and they say, look closely. There's one scene where a whole bunch of FBI vehicles are supposed to be pulling up on a school, right? So there's like four vehicles that all converge on a school with the sirens blaring. And they say, look really closely. One of the big black SUVs is backing in, like it comes
Yeah.
screeching in backwards. So that's where AI screws it up. I don't, why they did that, why they get the image, I don't know. But then you look close, you can't tell. They're big black SUVs, right, with lights going. But one of them is definitely going backwards. You're like, well, why? What? Why would it be
Yeah.
driving backwards? Anyways, I like that when you say look closely, like the person's got six fingers or something like that. It's very
Mm-hmm.
strange.
Mm-hmm.
Do I keep moving away from the microphone? Hold on. No, it's not that. All right, I'll try and be better. I'm all excited. I'm moving around a lot today. I saw a question earlier about explaining the Mountain Pass. Mountain Pass is a structured strategy that I use to trade during usually later on in the day. It best happens between 10:30 and about 3 o'clock. It's a strategy that I've built over the last couple of years. Let me just calling up a hold on here. I spelt it wrong, so it came up with Mouton Pass. That's not what you guys are looking for. So here is this is going to be tough to see here, but let me put it on the screen that I'm sharing here. Here's just a quick view of the Mountain Pass. You could take a screenshot of this, or it'll be there for you to use. Here's my sort of different indicators I use. This looks complicated, but if you follow it through, it should make sense. I'm looking for all these things, right? So if I'm looking for a short trade, a new high of day, a pullback from the high of day, a retest of the high, and then a drop down through the 50 moving average, and ideally to the VWAP. In a nutshell, that's what it is. But that comes on the tail of usually a strong move higher on good volume at the high of day. And I said I've got all these things indicated in this one chart. So I do a whole webinar on this that I explain what I'm looking for and how it works. It's not a trade that I expect anyone else to take necessarily, right? It's just my personal strategy that I've one of the personal strategies I use that I've built over the last couple of years, and I find it works well for me. When I it gives me about a 75% win rate, which is pretty good. So it works for me, but that's when I follow my rules properly. So so G-Man, no problem. Oh, we got some people joining. So Carlos, I know are you working to set everybody up?
Yep. We're gonna set them up, and
Okay.
we'll be live with
Excellent.
them in a couple of minutes here.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Let's see here. All right. What time frame works for you for the Mountain Pass?
Yeah, I said 10:30 to 3. You can trade it all day. Most of my Mountain Pass trades happen from about 10:30 till about 12:30. But there's really good ones that can occur in the afternoon. So realistically, you can trade at 10:30 to 3. All right, Carlos is getting set up with our friends at Trader Tax. They're going to be here to talk to us about taxation if you're a US based trader and how that works. It should be a good session. Don't forget, if you're an elite member, you can take advantage. They're actually going to be doing a structured presentation this evening in our elite webinar room, which is going to be pretty awesome as well. So,
Yeah, looking forward to that, friends. Is there a free Lambo giveaway today celebrating my return? No free Lambo giveaways. Not today. Not today.
How about a book though? Have you got a book?
I have to check. I have to check if I have more codes, because what's happening is I have tons of UK codes, right? So if you're in the UK, I got plenty of codes. But if you're in the US, then that's an issue. I don't have a lot of US codes anymore. So we gave them all away. So, but if you're in the UK, I got plenty. And Spanish book, I got a couple of Spanish books as well. So if you want a Spanish ebook, email me. We'll get you a copy. We'll get you a copy.
All right.
Man, what a day. So far for me, just one trade on AMD that did not work out, and I don't see anything
Yep,
else. And for you, Peter, you had Nvidia early on.
Well, I had exactly one trade on Nvidia that did work out. Didn't go as far as I was hoping, but I did get a couple of good partials before I got stopped out. So, a fairly slow day today, but that's okay. That's I said it's as long as you stick to your rules and stay disciplined, you can either mitigate the damage, manage it, and maybe find a little bit of opportunity. So I'm sitting green myself, looking for though an opportunity, hopefully for a bigger trade a little bit later today. Some things are looking okay, like Tesla and AMD might potentially give us some moves. Other things like Nvidia, wow, like not looking good at all. And even Netflix, I was hoping that Netflix would have another day today where it might give some movement, but my goodness, so far it is
So
dead
bad,
sideways.
man.
Yeah, it does not
look
look
at that.
good at all. So not a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I see. I said we're getting close to our time with
Yes. Yeah.
people
Couple
getting
minutes
set up
here.
in
We'll
the
get
background.
started.
Yep. And who's hosting? You've got someone else to enable here?
I think I got everybody set.
Yeah. Who's like? Is it John, or I can't remember. We had the whole big conversation. I wasn't sure who was going to be hosting them. Or are you doing that, Carlos?
No, I think I'm just gonna ask the
Leading.
questions. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I think I'm just
All
gonna
right,
ask the
cool.
questions. Yeah. I don't see Dave's camera. I know Dave is on. If you could hear me, I don't see your camera. I do have. Let me see. Do I have audio on this?
Probably have audio. They're muted right now, which is fine.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Do you see Dave's camera though on the Zoom? I don't see it on the Zoom.
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't.
All right,
He doesn't have it
gotcha.
enabled. There he is. Oh, it came on for a second. There he is. He's alive. He's a real human. All right, but we'll
Awesome.
get him going in a second here. So guys, yeah, trade smart today. Whatever you're doing, let's watch these markets. I still think there's some opportunity out there in the market. Just be careful on what you're trading. Like we said, I think that we're going to see slightly lower volumes. If I look at the overall market volume, it's sitting about 50 to 60% of average. So that's a little bit lower, of course, than normal, and largely because I believe we've got the rate announcement happening tomorrow afternoon. 2 p.m. is when the Fed rate announcement's coming out. Currently, the consensus estimate is that we're going to get a 1/4 point drop on those rates. We'll, of course, find that out at 2, and then the press conference that starts shortly thereafter. So expect volumes to stay low, probably until tomorrow afternoon, but you can find the right things that are moving. Things like things. How about CoreWeave? It's at 126%. It's sitting at the high of day. You know, there are things. There are
Yeah,
opportunities out there.
they're out there. They're definitely out there.
All right.
All right, let's see here, friends. All right, guys,
So
bringing in our
Rand.
guest here from Trader
Okay.
daytradertax.com. So Mike actually introduced us to them, and he actually switched over. If you guys know, Mike was using somebody else, and he did switch over to Day Trader Tax,
Right.
and he's very, very happy, and he wants to share why he's happy. So we look forward to our presentation today. So hello, Dave. I got Dave, and is it McKinna? Welcome, guys.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. All right. Dave, do we have your audio, so I just want to make sure.
You bet. Yes, we're good.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I can hear you guys. Awesome.
Hear me now? Okay, good.
All right, perfect. So I definitely got a couple of questions here, and we got some questions that are very popular in our community, especially from new traders that either started trading, do not know how tax works, have questions, want to be prepared moving forward, especially with tax season coming up. So maybe you guys can help us with that. But before we get to those, I would love to get an introduction as you guys are new to our community. We'd love to hear a little bit about you guys in the background, and we'll get to the questions.
Great. McKenna, would you handle that? You're so good.
Sure. Yeah. So Dave and I together run Day Traders Taxes, where we handle tax planning, entity creation, and tax preparation for day traders.
All right, awesome.
And we also do personal taxes as well. So we kind of have a broad package that we handle.
Okay,
I'll
excellent.
jump in and say that all of our clients are traders, and we will do everything. Like, for instance, you mentioned Mike. He owns some real estate, and so we are helping him with the structure of that and the tax situation for that. And he happens to be multi-state, and so it's kind of fun. I personally really enjoy the tax planning part of this, and Mike has offered us a couple of opportunities to make some improvements for him, and that's what we like to do.
Yeah, and I'm glad you
How'd you
mentioned
both
that
get into this?
because go ahead, Peter.
Oh, I was just going to ask how they got into it. Why support traders in taxation?
Well, it's a boring story, but a friend of mine was working in the area, and the people he was working with, I didn't think were doing a very good job. And I thought, hey, this is an area that my expertise and my connections, including McKenna, could really help us and help traders. And I'm at a point in life, all this gray beard, I'm at a point in life that I'm doing this because I enjoy work, not because I have to work. And so I feel like I'm helping some people, and where we, and I don't mean to give you the idea that we work for free or anything, but I do really enjoy the work, and that was my motivation. And I don't know, McKenna, tell us about you. How are you enjoying this?
Yeah, so I worked in the corporate world. I ran a fraud prevention and detection team for 8 years, and that is really stressful and hard. And Dave offered me a position to come work for him and help him run things. And that, after 8 years of doing fraud, I was looking to do something new. So I jumped on over to Day Traders Taxes, and I handle all the preparation, and I really enjoy it.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. And we'll hear more about you guys as well in the webinar tonight that we're having. It's going to be a full-blown webinar. But I want to tackle some of the questions that we have here that I get a ton from new traders. So does a lot of our moderators. And our answer is always is, we don't know, you got to get with a professional because everybody's situation is different. So we don't advise people on tax, and obviously you guys are the professionals. But one of the questions we get is for those new traders, the concept of trading entities, right? Can you explain a little bit about the LLC, S Corp, and how it differs from trading as an individual?
You
Sure,
bet.
yeah. So trading as an LLC or an S corporation means you're conducting your trading activity through a formal business entity rather than in your personal name. When you trade as an individual, all gains, losses, and expenses flow directly onto your personal tax return, and you're generally limited to the deductions you can take. An LLC or an S corp, however, provides a structured business framework, while an LLC is primarily a legal structure that defaults to pass-through taxation. An S corporation is a tax classification that can offer additional tax planning advantages, such as the ability to take payroll and deduct certain expenses that individuals cannot. These entities also help clearly separate business activity from personal activity, which is important when substantiating trader status or business deductions.
Oh, I just love it when you get into all that technical stuff and give us the legal jargon. So on a more practical level and on the level I enjoy, so picture your tax return and income that would flow into that naturally. And we're going to add an entity that's going to have its own tax return, and the income is going to flow into that return, be manipulated around legally, of course, and then spit out onto your tax return in a better situation. For instance, you are going to get all the legitimate expenses. You're not going to need to qualify for trader tax status. You are going to have mark-to-market election if it's appropriate for you, if you're a stock or options trader. And you will have just the short-term trading that you do be affected by that mark-to-market election rather than everything in your life. We'll also simplify your tax returns because one tax return will have the MTM election and your personal will not. Also, QBI, a properly formed entity with mark-to-market election, is eligible for QBI. QBI started in 2017 and it was renewed this year with the big beautiful bill. And I don't intend to be political in any way, but I do take issue with people that say that everything in the big beautiful bill was for millionaires, because QBI is for people that earn up to $400,000, and then it is QBI is tapered off after that over the next $100,000 or $200,000. So we're not talking about billionaires here. We're talking about traders that can get a 20% reduction in their income before they pay taxes on it if they set this up correctly. So QBI is wonderful. And then also PTE. For people that live in a state with income tax, a properly formed entity is eligible to pay your state income tax with PTE. So I'll slow this down for a minute because I find it confusing, and I'm sure most people do. So you can take company funds, profitable funds, funds that you were going to pay taxes on, and you can pay your state income tax or any amount you choose to your state Department of Revenue or state tax commission. Get a deduction from your income and pay less tax because you've lowered your income through PTE. And then after you file your tax return, use that money that is waiting for you to pay your state income tax. Now, this year they increased the SALT revenues or levels so that you can use more of that. But remember, a standard deduction is $30,000 for a married couple. So when you add your mortgage interest and your state income tax and charitable deductions together, you're trying to get over $30,000. And if you can do that, then that's great. Then you have a deduction for more than $30,000. But what I'm suggesting, PT is wonderful because I personally get the $30,000 and I write a check to the Utah State Tax Commission for whatever amount I choose. And I get an additional reduction of my income for that amount. So I'm getting the 30,000 plus 10, 30,000 plus 20, whatever it is. And so PT is wonderful. So a properly formed entity will help you directly in those ways. In addition to that, when you use trader tax status, first of all, you have to worry about trader tax status, and that we can get into that if you'd like. And then you have the ability to take expenses by virtue of trader tax status, but those are limited in a couple of ways, specifically home office and margin interest. And also, when you use trader tax status, you open yourself up to extremely high audit rates, or at least in my mind, extremely high. So most of us are audited at a 0.2% rate. And tax filers that use trader tax status are audited at a 3% rate. So we're going from 1 in 500 to 1 in 33 are being audited. And of course, an audit doesn't really matter if you don't do anything wrong. But if you if you're not really full-time trader, if you're really not qualifying for trader tax status, there's a fairly high likelihood that it'll get looked at. And as usual, I gave you a long answer to a short question. I apologize for that.
No, great information. And again, this is why, as I'm hearing, you're so critical for traders to talk to a professional that knows about trader tax, right? Because your local guy might not know some of the ins and outs when it comes to actually the trader part of it, right? They might know the S corp and all of that, but the trader part of it might be a little more difficult because they just don't deal with it on a regular basis, right? You did bring up trader tax status, and one of the questions I had on here was, what type of trader should consider qualifying for a trader tax status, and who might be better off staying off as an individual without the TTS?
Well, first of all, you mentioned your local CPA, and I'll put in a somewhat different category. I'll put TurboTax and H&R Block and those things in there too, because all of those are, I mean, they're all great products for most people. Maybe not so much for businesses, but still, reasonably good. But for traders, there are some pitfalls that I don't. And I'm not an expert on TurboTax. I just hear things from clients, but TurboTax is a really good product for simpler returns, and trader taxes are anything but simple. In fact, as far as I can tell, they're the most complicated area of taxes. And that's the same thing that you mentioned as your local provider. I mean, your local provider may be a really good CPA, and probably is, or a really good tax preparer, probably is. But if they don't do trader taxes every day, they're and the key is, if you're talking to them and you talk about MTM or mark-to-market election, and you hear the keyboard going, you know that you got a problem, because they're looking it up as they go. And I'm sure they could become an expert in it if they chose to, but you're their only trader client, so that's not going to make any sense. And that's why we're here for you. Now, as far as trader tax status goes, there are 3 ways to be taxed as a trader. You can be taxed as an investor, as a sole proprietor, which is the trader tax status choice, or a properly formed entity. Now, I keep saying properly formed entity because not all entities are equal. And I get very frustrated when I read online, or I'm told that someone has read online, that trading in an LLC is a good idea, because that statement in and of itself is true. It is good to trade in an LLC. It's just that not all LLCs are the same. So trading in any LLC is not going to get you what you want. And every spring we have a few clients that come to us. Maybe they come to us in March. They've created an LLC the year before, and they're expecting certain things. And that might even include, they are expecting that they have a mark-to-market election, and they don't. And that can be disappointing. So one of the things that I try to do with all the clients that come to us with an existing entity, which is great, if you have an entity, we're happy to do your taxes. That would be wonderful. But I ask that I can review the entity, and I truly mean it when I say that I'm not here to drum up business, although that is the net effect in some cases. I really just want people to understand what they have, and then not be surprised at how it works out. And if I take a minute, explain to you what you have, explain to you how that's going to work, and explain to you how that might be different from another choice, then and you stick with what you have, wonderful. But I just want an informed client. So directly to your question, when you go from an investor to being a sole proprietor, you qualify for trader tax status. And when you qualify for trader tax status, you can take some expenses. You can use Schedule C. Schedule C does not include your income. Schedule D is where trader income goes, and Schedule C is where trader tax status traders put their expenses. And there are 2 rules that affect traders frequently in this situation. One is that you cannot use a home office to produce a loss on Schedule C. And I just said all your income is on Schedule D and your expenses are on Schedule C. So now anything you add on to that is creating a loss. So you cannot use a home office because it creates a loss or an additional loss. And you cannot use margin interest because that creates an additional loss. Now, if those two things don't bother you and what you really want are your other expenses, your direct expenses, education, computer, whatever it might be. Traders don't get a lot of expenses, so but I wrote off $1.89 the other day. I had to fax something, and I don't have a fax machine, so I had to go over to FedEx and fax something for $1.89, and I wrote it off. So in my opinion, there is no amount too small to write off. I'm 100% support, whatever it is. Let's because taxes aren't saved by suddenly creating a situation where your tax rate is 2%, or you move to Puerto Rico and it's 4%, which actually you can move to Puerto Rico and have 4% capital gains rates. But Puerto Rico is a great place to vacation. It's a big decision as to whether to stay there. But anyway, so when you go from an investor with no expenses to a trader tax status trader, you get some expenses, and that could be a great idea. It's simple. You don't need to do an entity. There's no reason not to do it. And you do lose out on home office and you lose out on margin interest, but hey, you get some other things. So that's good. Where I am less excited about trader tax status is when people are a stock or options trader and they need to mark the market election. Now, so just to back up for a second, if you're a stock or options trader and you trade the same or similar stock or option in less than 31 days, you're violating the wash sale rule. And this might be the very most important thing we talk about today, because right now there are some traders that know they have wash sales and they're dealing with it, or they are finding out that they have wash sales and they're beginning to deal with it, or worst case, they don't know that they have them and they won't realize it until their 1099 comes out. And that's a rough situation, because when you trade the same or similar stock or option in less than 31 days, you're violating the wash sale rule. And the penalty for violating the wash sale rule is that they disallow your losses. So they take all of your trades that are violations of the wash sale rule. They take all those trades and they put them into two piles, the ups and the downs, and they disallow the downs. So let's say that you have $310,000 in ups and 300 in downs, and that means there's $10,000 in your brokerage account. Well done, you made money, great. But you violated the wash sale rule on all of those trades, then they're going to disallow that $300,000 in losses, and you're going to pay tax on $310,000 as a penalty for violating the wash sale rule. See, the SEC and the IRS work together to discourage people from doing things that the SEC doesn't want them to do, and that's the biggest example. So wash sales are a huge one. And when you do an MTM election as a sole proprietor, you're doing it, you're making a change, so it's a 5-year commitment. You're saying that you are eligible to do it because you qualify for trader tax status. The IRS doesn't tell you that you qualify, so you're just believing that you do. So it is possible that 3 years later, when you're audited, or if you're audited at the 1 in 33 rate, that they say you didn't qualify for trader tax status, and therefore they retroactively revoke your mark-to-market election. That could be a significant problem. Also, there are a bunch of gray areas in here, because the IRS does not have a trader tax status checklist. They don't say yes or no. You just do it and believe that you're right. And assuming you are, then there's no problem. But you don't want to be kind of close. So MTM and wash sales are the biggest area of quote tax savings, unquote. And I say quote because you're not really saving taxes, although if you screw it up, you're paying a lot of extra taxes. So maybe that is saving taxes. Once again, a long answer to a short question, and apologies again.
No apologies at all. And actually, in that answer, you did answer some of the questions that were coming into the chat in regards to the watch sale rule. And that was one of my questions on the list as well. So thank you for that. And another question I'm getting from the chat is, do you guys only do taxes in the U.S.? We got a lot of Canadian and also overseas people that are trading in the U.S. market. How does that affect them? And is there anything that you provide for those type of traders?
And Carlos, just reset your mic. It's doing that thing again.
Thank you. Okay. So first of all, if you're a if you're a U.S. citizen and you're living abroad, there is an income allowance that you can deduct for excuse me for overseas income. It's and you know, we can get into the technicalities of that if anybody's worried about it. So if you're a citizen, you're doing a U.S. tax return for your global income with a few exceptions. If you're a non-citizen and you're doing U.S. tax returns, and I should say citizens would include green card holders and basically anybody that has a social security number would be in the citizen category, even though there might be some immigration issues with that. There are not any tax differentiations. And then, of course, we have people in the U.S. that are visa holders. HB can I help? Anyway, some visa holders have some different situations where they have U.S. income, and some of them are allowed to have active U.S. income, and some are allowed to have passive U.S. income. So there's that category, and then there is the. Oh, thank you. And then should be a little more prepared. I'm sorry. And then there's always and then there's the foreign citizen that is making money in the U.S. And yes, we handle all those. Now, do we do it every day? No. And can I spout off every rule, including the name of the HV1 visa that I didn't remember, like I can mark-to-market election? No. But we can handle all of it for you.
All right, awesome. Another question here from the chat is, can you move and carry over losses into your trading entity?
Sure. There's different buckets. So there's ordinary income and there's capital gains and losses. And real estate is frequently separated from other things. So back in the early 80s, you could own real estate and use that to offset your business income, and it was great. And in 1986, they stopped that, and they created these separate buckets. So now there's real estate losses, and there's other business losses. And there are some areas where it kind of there's some crossover there. Like if you have an Airbnb, that is considered a business, not or can be considered a business and not a real estate investment. But if you own straight apartments, you get depreciation, which leads to an operating loss, and that is pigeonholed away from your other income. So that's one area to consider. Another area to consider is if you have losses in a particular area, like you have an ordinary income loss, that's a net operating loss carry forward. You can carry that forward. And separately, if you have a capital gain or loss, or specifically if you have a capital loss, you can carry that forward as a capital loss carry forward. Those are carried forward as long-term or short-term, and the rates on long-term and short-term are different. Long-term are about this half of the short-term. Short-term capital gains rates are the same as ordinary income tax rates. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, I think that does answer it there.
Okay.
And the last question we have here, which I think is a good one, because a lot of our traders are newer, right? So they're just getting started. Some of them are going live, and the end of the year income might not be as much as a trader that's seasoned and more professional, has been trading for quite some time. So the question will be is, how much money do you need to make from trading to make a specialized tax preparer necessary, right? To go look up your services.
Well, I don't know that I would just say if it's an amount of money, but it might be a loss. You might, let's say that you have a capital loss, and I would say that I probably wouldn't use TurboTax in that situation, but I am not. I am not being derogatory towards TurboTax. I mean, they have wonderful products for 90-some% of the people, so it's great. But if I had a capital loss or a capital gain, I would consider at least a CPA or an accounting firm, and I would at least consider whether you want to work with somebody like us. But I think that where it matters is if you're violating the wash sale rule, that is huge. If you're considering a mark-to-market election, which, by the way, MTM and 475 are the same. And I find that to be something that people get confused about sometimes. So if you're considering MTM, if you're considering that 475 election, then I think you definitely want to work with a specialist. I think if you have wash sales, you definitely want to work with a specialist. After that, if you're trading some stocks and you take some expenses, if you're thinking your trader tax status, I would choose to use somebody like us, but I don't think the penalties would be as harsh. But I mean, they can be just devastating if you do. I mean, if you don't report wash sales correctly, that stuff can be devastating. Now, and I really try not to have any of this be a sales call, and so I maybe do that to a fault, but when I look at entity creation, which I think is actually the more important part of what we do an entity, and then there's very little to do after that. I mean, you have to pay California $70 to renew it, like in most states, or $7,100, something like that. California has a special $800 sunshine tax, but I think it's worth it because it seems like a great place to live. But once you have an entity, the maintenance on it is relatively minor. So I look at that as, well, if I'm going to trade for 10 years and this year I didn't do too much where MTM won't help me, or those extra expenses won't help me very much, but I can multiply that over 10 years, that seems like a good value to me, and I would definitely consider that. And as far as tax preparation, I don't think it's so much how much you make as how much volume you do. Because if you're just trading a little bit in your Roth or in your IRA, which, by the way, be very careful with Roth and IRA trading and the mark-to-market and the wash sale rule. If you trade the same or similar stock or option in a Roth account and in a cash account, those disallowed losses are made permanent. So while we can fix disallowed losses, given a little bit of time and some adjustments to trading, if you do that through trades that are both in a cash account and a retirement account, those are permanent disallowed losses, and that is the worst situation for wash sales. But back to the answer to your question, I don't think it's so much how much money you make as it is the volume you run. And if you're just trading occasionally, that's no problem. But there was an article in Forbes a few years ago that talked about a Robinhood trader who had made $40,000. And I think if you Google this, you'll find it. It was about 4 years ago, I think. A fellow had made $40,000, and he was like, "Hey, got my cell phone out, did some trading, made 40 grand, bing bang boom, I'm set." And his tax bill was $800,000. So it wasn't so much that the 40,000 that he made was a big number or a small number, but rather he did quite a bit of trading to make that, that's your department. I'll let you decide if that's a good idea or not. It sounds like it to me, but you need to have a plan, or you can end up with an $800,000 tax bill. And I just can't emphasize enough that the IRS, the penalties are harsh, the rules are ridiculous, and they are not flexible on this stuff. I get calls every day. It's December. I have wash sales. I'd like to make a mark-to-market election. And I say, well, that was due in April. And so now let's talk about how we can dig you out of this hole. And there are ways to dig you out of this hole, but we need to get started right away. The window is closing on that opportunity.
Yeah, that's awesome. The sooner the better. Don't wait. That's a good point. Guys, this was very helpful, and I look forward to your presentation tonight. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern time, where you guys are going to dive in even a little deeper to talk about some of these topics and answer more of the questions of the community. So make sure to join at 8 p.m. this evening. Before we wrap it up here, anything else you guys want to share with our community? We did give out your website here so people can contact you, daytradertax.com, friends. So the link is there. I put it in chat. Anything else before we wrap it up?
I guess to complete the introduction, when you're getting your taxes prepared, McKenna supervises that process, and I get to do whatever I want. So I choose to do those 20-minute free consultations that we offer on our website. And I also work with the entity creation part. So if you do choose to use this, and that would be wonderful, you'll be working with me and McKenna, and we both look forward to that.
Awesome.
Much so.
Dave sounds like you do the fun part, huh? I like that.
Well, I
Awesome.
think McKenna likes her part because she's good at it. I'm just probably not as good at the part that she does. So if I were as good as McKenna, I would probably enjoy it too.
Awesome. Guys, great talking to you and great meeting you. And I'll see you guys this evening. So thank you so much for the information and we appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks,
you for your
everyone.
time. Take care.
Awesome. All right, friends. So looking forward to that. It's going to be later this evening. They're going to be on in our chat room, and it'll be longer. It'll be like about an hour or so, some more information. But yeah, don't sleep on this stuff. This stuff is important. Do not sleep on it, and definitely get your, as we will say, get your affairs in order. With that, I do see my buddy Thor. Thor, good afternoon. Oh, good morning still. How are you, man? Oh, I can't hear you. Hold on. Now I got you.
I mean, it's afternoon somewhere. So, I mean, I think that's, but you're still on Thailand time, I think,
Oh
is your
man, I
problem.
am. I'm. The time zone is real. The time zone jet lag is real. Going over there, I was like, oh, this is people are making this stuff up. When I landed there, it was like, oh, this is simple. I feel great. But coming back, yeah, definitely feel the jet lag. It is a real thing. So I am exhausted, but I think in 2 days we'll be back to normal. But yeah, man.
I like it.
All
I mean,
right.
it's, but whatever normal is, right? Whatever that
Whatever
means
normal
to us.
is. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, brother.
So,
Good to
one
see
of
you.
the things we talk about as being a trader is not
Mm-hmm.
like being normal at all. It's like such a weird job, but
It,
yeah,
it
man,
it is, man. It is a weird job. It is a weird gig. But we love it, man. It's so fun. It is so fun.
for
So
sure.
absolutely. All right, man. I'll let you to it. I
Right
got your
on.
screen here, so
Cool.
that's working nicely. And yeah, man, I'll let you get at
Cool.
it, and I'll see everybody else in chat.
Yeah, chat. Awesome. See everybody there. Thank you, sir.
Right on.
We are getting going here. Hello, everybody out there in YouTube Landia. It is good to see you. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. We've got around, we're actually doing pretty good today. Carlos and Peter must have been on fire. We've got like 400 likes already with about 500 people watching. So that feels like a really strong ratio. So good job, gentlemen. I like that. Amazing. So let's see here. Good to see everybody. So I want to talk a little bit about the day that's going on so far with my not so exciting trading. I'm in a short on ES right now because we got a really lovely call on it, and it has tried to sell a couple of times since. It just hasn't happened yet. So I'm still just holding that position. So I'm in right up near 60, 68, 67, and my stop is right above R3. So all I'm doing right now is just sitting and waiting and to see what happens with this range. Admittedly, we haven't really sold very well at all. So I think as I log this one, what I'll look at, hey, Annie, thank you for joining Lambos and Garbage Trucks. So great to have you with us. I'm here every single day from 11 to 12. So any questions you have, anything you need to know, I am here for you, as well as everybody else, because that's what we do here. So let me know if you have any questions. So I am in on, so yeah. So unfortunately, if we come back through R3, I will end up taking a loss on this one, and then I'll end up seeing if this, ends up working. I did end up hitting my crude short yesterday for the full run to ATR low. So I had an amazing day yesterday, and I shorted the pullback on ES to S4 and for the trending breakdown back to S6. So I ended up having a lovely day yesterday and basically made my entire week in one day. So now all I'm really looking to do is, maybe try a trade or two just to make sure nothing really happens. But if this trade loses, it's okay. I already had a great Monday. So the one thing I don't want to do is just because today doesn't work out so well, get all freaked out and start throwing trades in all over the place, right? So we wait. Hey, what's up, Helga? Good to see you. I really enjoyed the little last part of the little tax talk there. I always think that's really interesting, to hear. I've been doing mine for a while. This year for me is CPA year. I'm done. I can't do it myself anymore. So this year I've got myself a big baller CPA who I'm just gonna give all my money, I think. All right, so I'm using Atlas here, and one of the things let me kind of get a little bit smaller. Let me get to like the 50 levels, or point level, sorry. And then, so what you kind of see right now, get over here, is right now, for the most part, it would seem that we're distributing on the ES right now. As you look back, you'll see most of our sells are going to the DOM while most of our buys are being absorbed. So this would insinuate that the algorithm is distributing, right? So this is one of the other reasons why we like the idea of being short up here on R3, because for ES, this is where we short. It's a lower, wider range. This is, by the way, this is my bread and butter play. Of all of my plays, this one I love the most. The R3 lower, wider range, R3 short for me has a fairly high efficacy rate, right? So, so this was one of those ones I'm very happy to give a shot, basically anytime I get here. What is your opinion on long-term investments? Do you think it's worth holding VOO or other ETFs? Do you avoid exposure to the market? Okay, I do not have a long-term portfolio in any capacity other than like some precious metals and stuff, but I actually have real precious metals. I do not like exposing myself to the market. Since I'm already a stock trader, I like to invest in other ways. So I invest in small businesses, I invest in real estate, and I invest in like metals and things like that, things that I think have, because really for me, like I just feel like I think VOO is good. Like you could probably get, VOO put into your, thing and you'd probably do pretty well most of the time. But I just really don't I just really don't like the idea of it's, for instance, I don't have a how do you say this? I hate swing trading. So how do I invest in small businesses? I'm a part of a in the St. Augustine in St. Johns County. I'm a part of a like a business owners group that basically like, we go to meetings like once a month, and people who are in St. Johns County, like new businesses that are trying to open, they levy the group that I belong to, which I won't name because it's a private group that doesn't, it's like Fight Club kind of. But basically what we do is like if someone, think about Shark Tank, but like not on TV. So basically we sit there, and if someone's needs like, capital or something to help with their small business, we will offer, we can offer them some capital in exchange for, a certain percentage of whatever their gross profits end up being. Right. But it's contractual. And then basically what it allows, me to do is, maybe the company isn't profitable, but I would rather, I'm a really pretty decent judge of people. So I really invest in people more than I invest in companies. Like I really like ideas and I really like people. So if the person comes to me and their ideas is interesting and a little out of the box, and they seem like just like a really interesting person, like them themselves are out of the box, then I'll go for it. Right. So I've invested in maybe like 2 or 3 different local local businesses here, one of them, for instance, was a guy who has a new way that he does lawn care. I helped, went into that maybe 5 years ago, and he now has like 5 trucks, like 30 employees, 35 employees. I mean, and he's crushing it, but he couldn't get started. He didn't have enough money for a truck and for equipment and to do the original staffing and to bring people in. So that's where we can help. You know, the guy was really creative. The dude spoke 4 languages. That's what really like struck me. He came from he originally came from Europe, but he spoke Spanish, English, French, and like freaking like Mandarin or something totally random. The dude was like a polyglot. And I was like, oh my God, this guy's this smart. He can definitely like run a lawn crew, right? And he did. He's crushing it. So, but anyway. Yeah, like a business, like kind of. It's just so hard for some people. You know, if you're like, let's say you've just immigrated to the country and you have an amazing idea, you can't go to a bank and get funding to start your idea. It's just not happening. The bank wants like they want to see pay stubs, they want to see your assets, they want collateral. You know, like just being a good person and having money or having a good idea, you know, isn't just good enough. Like they want so much more than that. It's just rarely is it work. So helping people like especially in that condition, you know, single moms that are restarting, that are trying to do like a small business. That was one of mine. So anyway. Hey, what's up, Gonzo? Gonzalo in the house. How could you look at Atlas and make a read that MM is selling and Dom is buyers? Okay, let me show you, Ganesh. So when you're, oh, hold on. I didn't mean to do that. There, that makes it easier to see. All right. So right now, they're basically just balanced, right? So you can see there's a large order to the downside, and there's a fairly equal set of orders to the top side. And you'll notice, there we go. All right, so they're selling. I can tell you they're selling now. Now it doesn't mean they keep selling. I can just tell you they are selling. Why? Because as I watched this here, right here, they were buying. And then they started consolidating. In this moment, they started selling. How can I tell? Because there are red orders, market orders that are getting put to the DOM, to the downside. But when people buy, those orders are stagnant and they move sideways. This would insinuate that the algorithm, whenever someone is trying to buy, is offloading the float into those orders, right? So when someone buys, our orders are stagnant or going down. Now, in this instance, again, we're very balanced, right? Because the orders will sell for just a moment, and then the response to that is offloading, right? So the order we don't have a lot of directional bias right now. Now, that is also consistent with the VPA. Look where our VPA is right now. We're offering to our buyers right now, right? And we are very, very low in volume. So right now we're moving up, trying to see if anyone's going to buy this high. So we're offering to buyers right now. If we push up near this high and we can't get anyone to buy that high, well, we're going to abandon it, right? And then we'll come down and we'll see if anyone's willing to sell these nearby lows. And if that's the case, then we'll sell probably back down to the CP. And it'll be really fast too. Like this is a selling range. So ideally we want to go short here because we're going to get waterfalls, right? Take a half hour to climb up. It's going to take 2 minutes to get down, right? We're stairs up, elevator down. Look at the volume. Every time we have high volume, these candles are squished, right? So now this sell attempt was also absorbed. So again, we're just chopping right now. They're trying to do something here. They might be trying to UTAD, right? So a UTAD is an upward thrust after distribution. So they're going to come up here and they're going to blow up into R3, stop me out along with anybody else who shorted early before we started selling. Then they'll come down and start selling, and we'll have to get back in. So it is what it is. The volume is how you can tell if it's an offer or not. So now this right here, I can tell you if it's an offer or not because you can read it into the buying and selling detector very, very easily. So for those of you who haven't seen it, this right here is mine, buying and selling detector. These are my, oh, someone asked me about this, by the way. Hold on. I saw somebody ask something about the candles and then I just forgot. Did I lose it? Maybe I lost it. It was something about ghost candles, but I can't find it now. So if you could repost it, because for some reason I'm not seeing it when I go up. Oh, it's because I'm in top chat. Hold on, let me go live chat. That's why. Futures aren't actually included in Bookmap necessarily. It just depends on which data subscription you get. Now, if you're getting Bookmap through Thinkorswim, then if you have, yeah, then it comes. I don't know why I don't have. I don't know. I don't know why I can't see it. Maybe we deleted it. That's so weird. Okay. All right. I'm just not gonna worry about it. If you had to go, it was like a question involving ghost candles or something about like, so here's the thing. You would have to talk with Andrew on those kind of things, right? Because I'm here for the ride, but I am not the captain of this boat. That's for sure. So one of the issues with here comes ES for that reoffer. One of the problems or one of the things is you have to understand is it's all about the data expense. Right. So, it's not even really about necessarily clearing money. It's about making sure, the data is a certain level of expense. And until you get to a certain amount of users, you know what I mean? There's not really much you can do about that. So in the beginning, there's not going to be much you can do. Now, the reason why Thinkorswim is different is because that's Charles Schwab, right? And in a relationship that Charles Schwab put together with Bookmap in order to get access to Bookmap's data, right? Because Bookmap has their own data, which is a combination of CME and NYMEX and COMEX and a couple of those other exchanges, right? So this is no, I don't use Arval really. Just too many things. Well, yes, disappointing. In hindsight, it was buying. So never really, there was my sell attempt, and that sell attempt was bought right up. So not happening. Sads. I mean, if this keeps going up, maybe we could try NQ. But yeah, so give time on that one, and maybe Atlas's price, can have some differentiation. But The reality is, you know, there's some bonuses to having Atlas outside of the other ones, but I have always liked TOS with the built-in book map. It's great. Now, many people can't get access to that because they're not US based or something like that. So they're really just going to be more on par with just bookmap. And Atlas, for its speed and what it brings you, is on par with that. So for me. Yep. Yeah, if you want the S3 indicators, Camaria Pivot plays. The light version has them all up there for you for free. If you want the system, the version that draws the boxes and actually calls the plays for you, then you would have to get the, go to my Instagram at ThorYoungMA, and you can see the information on that. That's a little bit more because that actually calls trades for you. How about a short right now? On which one? On ES? I think it's totally doable. So we just exhausted, right? This is the highest we really should go without exhausting buyers. So we went up and we bought that high, right? So our response to that is very, very important. If we reoffer and then start making new highs here, I mean, this thing is done. I won't try and buy it or sell it again. So I'm now waiting to see what happens. If we sell from here back into range and then reoffer R3 from the underneath, maybe. But right now we're above R3, so this is getting nasty. I don't like it here anymore. Yes. Yeah, the light version supports everything. The only difference between the light version and the paid version is that the paid version has the enhanced features. It draws the boxes, it does the calls, and with the paid subscription, you can get the buying and selling detector and you can get ghost candles. So every single indicator that's on my screen other than this little clock utility are all my coded utilities that I had coded by Bruz, my developer. For the light version, it's free. For this subscription-based version, it's 100 a month. And it has all of those things, the calls in there, and it also has access support. So like for configurations working on it, my developer actually works with you and makes sure that it stays up to date, gives you alerts and updates. And we call the plays into Bearable Trader. So like if you just want, like one of the ways you can, if you want to skirt things and do it a little cheaper, and you're already a BBT member, you can use the light version, and then Bearable Traders, the calls from, we call them Pivot Bot. The calls from Pivot Bot go and get sent into the Bearable Traders chat room, right? So if you're a BBT member, you can get them right there. All right, we're back. We bought. Now let's see what our response is. Do we sell back in the range or do we go ahead and buy and keep going? This will be a pretty big moment of truth right here on the ES. We're still pretty bullish in our book, and we're sending a lot of orders to the top side of the DOM right now. So we're not doing a very good job finding sellers. BA? Sure. I don't think so. I don't think it called. I've noticed with Trading View, there has been some lags sometimes on their calls. I have some tickets into it to find out. It's like a server processing thing or something. Yeah, no, it didn't call for me. It was just too fast as it exploded away. And then this reoffer here it's not pretty. That's way too much volume. And we went into selling. We then reoffered to the buyers. They turned it down, and then we started selling. But you can tell we've been selling nonstop till about right here. We did find a buy. And it does seem like we are trying to offer to our buyers right now, but we're, this is a buying range here, but it's a higher range. So we went too low to buy here. This is probably going to just chop the rest of the day. Gold short? That sounds fun. Let's look at gold. Gonzo, this might be it. If you were looking for an opportunity on ES, I'd be paying a lot of attention right here. This reoffer is the right spot. So if we can make our lows here and start selling this, we're looking for selling now. On gold, if gold does short here, it would be one heck of a move. You're under R4 on a lower narrow range. So if you happened to offer sell and bring on the selling here and failed, the expectation for this move is actually very aggressive. You'd be looking at a move basically all the way back to potentially S6 today. It'd be a very hard sell. So if you happen to get into gold and get a contract of this thing, right? This might be one of those ones you hang on to and just see how far it goes today. So the only thing I don't like is it's narrow, right? Narrow means outside. So if this sells, right, it's going to go way down here. So it needs to get selling pretty darn soon. If not, it's not going to be able to do it today. It'll get stuck like out here. It's a fun spot though. You know what I mean? Because it's a narrow range, and that's what we got to be worried about. Because it's not like if it was a wide range, the R4 short on gold would be much easier because it would be it'd be a wider range. So you could kind of have the expectation that you go inside. Right now, the expectation is we stay outside, which means if it does work, it'll be a huge move. So hang on to it. But it's a lower statistical move. I like the volume when it sells. I feel like the order flow is much better when we're selling than when we're buying. So it does feel distributionary on gold. I like the idea of being short here. ES is starting to test its bid, and it is trying to find bidders on its bid. So, this is looking pretty nice. It's like blink twice. You know what weirds me out? Remember when the ES and gold used to be like divergent all the time? You know what I mean? I don't like that gold and ES like trade the same these days. It's like so weird. Like gold's been rallying all day, ES has been rallying all day. Like, where's my hedge? That gap was interesting. Look at that little gap on gold right there. We gapped. We closed it and then we had a gap. Opened way up here. We didn't open here. Nasty. YM's trying to sell again. ES has managed to get back under R3 after a little bit of rudeness. As you can see, we are now starting to struggle again up here. And we are starting to slowly offer to our sellers, right? So we're still offering to our buyers. We haven't quite started selling yet. Because remember, last time we tried to sell, it was a bit of a fake out, right? So we're looking for that nice sell. We're looking for an offer and then confirmation. But this is looking better and better. Gold's a futures pivot pirate. So there is only extended hours on gold or any other future. Because they're, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to really be careful with like certain futures, right? Like for instance, crude, right? Crude pits open at 9 o'clock. So you gotta be really careful with crude before 9. So futures do have their own thing, but always use the 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. Those are my hours. But I have a secret sauce. Should I tell you? I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't tell you. Just kidding. For my it's in my book. For my calculation, I force the RTH close, right? So I actually use the extended trading hours, but even on futures, like for indexes, I'll force the RTH close, and that allows the futures to line up with the equities better. All right. There's the sellers. Okay. We just started offering to sellers for the first time. So let's see what happens now when we pull up, this is a buy offer, right? We got right to our offer line. So if our buyers are going to buy, this is basically where it has to happen. If we move lower now, we're going to start offering to sellers. Remember, we offer to sellers when we go lower. There's going to always be limit bids willing to buy down here. Right. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to see, wait, did we exhaust all of our buyers yet? Do we have anyone else? Anyone else want to buy? Right. This is a test. If a buyer comes in here and buys, then boom, we'll pop back up. But if our buyers don't come in, if this is really light volume, this is an offer. Right. Because there was a lot of volume on this red candle that was very small. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this candle, ooh. That closed right at its top. So we're going to start by offering to the buyers right at premium. So let's see if the buyers are willing to buy premium or if we immediately get a rejection. Atlas right now has us fairly balanced, at least near the price. Maybe a little bit bearish on the larger time frame. We've got more orders to the downside. So I actually like us. Boom. Look at the response to that premium offering. Wham! Okay, there we go. That's probably enough information. That's a lot of information. So, we've offered premium a couple times. At this point, if it buys up and goes out of range, it just is what it is. Mm, mm. Yeah, I can look at Tesla. So for Tesla, I really don't have a good target for you on this one. I personally would not be in a trade from where you took a trade from. So let me kind of give you the best idea I can um, on this one, and then we go from there maybe, I guess. So for me on how do I say this right? Where the play for Tesla was here. Oh, actually, let me show you here. I can show you on the larger time frame easier. So yesterday we had a tight range on Tesla, and we expanded the range, which gave us a very wide range today. Right? So, oh, hold on. Let me go to a 1 hour. Hold on. Or let me try a 3 hour. There we go. There. So we expanded. Today we're in a lower, wider range. So the ideal location to buy would have been near 430, and a short would have been here. So this is what I mean. Look what's happened. We've bought, and we've bought above this shorting location. You know what I mean? So we're above where we sold from. So this is a really crappy spot to get involved in a position. There's a really good chance you just get chopped trying to enter or exit a trade up in here. So unfortunately for me, it's just kind of like not a great one for me now. ES, speaking of not being a great one. So it just seems like we just can't get our sellers, everyone. So with the news today, it looks like I saw something about some labor stats, I think, that came out on small business. So there were some small business stats that came out that the Fed anchored into that made people pretty happy. So I think we're just waiting maybe for, yeah, I agree actually, Alex. I think maybe we're waiting for NQ to get in position. So we're just kind of chopping around right now. So, you know, it just is what it is. Yeah, exactly. We just can't, just can't get our bears to show up today. So there's a seller right at the top of our cam range, right where they should be. So we'll see what happens.
Carlos, if you can hear me out there, can you add the microphone to the chat room?
Yes, I can.
Microphone to the chat room. That's fun. Do I get to hang out with my peoples? Yeah. What's up? What is up, Bearable Traders? How's everybody doing in the house? So good to see you all. I have enough love for everybody. We can all talk. Let's get the live chat here. I don't know why it went to that. And then let's pause. There we go. JH, how are you doing today? J2H. And how can I make this smaller so I can see? There, pop out. Pow. There we go. Now I don't have to break my neck. I have ghosts. I know, right? Oh my goodness. All right, so we got this working. So ES being boring. So we'll just have to keep an eye on this and we'll see if something happens. Okay, let's talk about that gearoid a little bit since we're just sitting here semi-bored. So when we're talking about um, reading price action or candles or the market or any of these other things, right? All we're really trying to do is ascertain basically value and premium. You know what I mean? Like where, where is value, where is discount, and where is premium? You know what I mean? You've heard the adage, buy low, sell high, right? But the problem is sometimes, right, it's buy low, sell, actually, let me do that different. So it's buy low, sell high, right? That's kind of the age-old adage, right? But the thing that makes this difficult is what exactly is low and what is exactly is high, right? As we move through different ranges, sometimes you will sell low to buy lower. Sometimes you will buy high to sell higher, right? And that's, so and this is expansion versus contraction, right? So on wide ranges, we're expecting to buy low and sell high. On narrow ranges, we're expecting to buy high and sell higher, right? So by being aware of value, you can kind of get a good idea. Like RTY right now is on a higher, wider range. It's above R4. True, but it's still a higher, wider range. So we're expecting to close inside value. So even though we're above R4, you could still think about shorting up here, right? So because when every candle that you have, of course, adding volume to it always makes it better, but every candle that you have gives you a version of premium, value, right, and discount. Whenever you're trading, you should be watching how we respond to each one of these things. If this candle opens and we wick up, we're offering premium. Who are we offering premium to when we wick up? We're offering them to the buyers. We're trying to see if buyers will buy premium. If buyers don't buy premium, then we're going to offer to the buyers value, right? If the buyers buy value, then we'll offer the buyers premium, and then we break up. Has anyone heard of a 3-bar play? Right? That's exactly what happens on an ABCD pattern or a 3-bar play or an opening range break up, right? You get your first bar establishes premium, value, and discount, and then you watch to see if buyers buy premium. If buyers buy premium, then you buy premium with them and you put your stop below value. Right? If they come down and run value, you stop out. If they offer discount, you buy discount. If they sell discount and re-offer, then guess what? There's where we sell low, right? Sell low on the re-offer to buy lower. Right? So it's all about reading the offer, right? When you get really kind of going with things, that's what you're going to kind of do. So look at the ooh, very nice. Gonzalo. I cannot tell you how much time I put into this. Do you understand like how many times, how many different charts I looked at? How many, like y'all don't understand. Like I really need to like, maybe, can I qualify myself a little bit here? The trading system that I utilize is entirely my own. I took it from no one. I learned about Camarilla pivots and their structure, but the way I built my trading system, nobody else does it. Nobody else calculates the way I calculate. How did I come up with this? Tens of thousands of hours. That's how, right? Like just time beyond imagine. Every single night, staying up till 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, going through chart after chart after chart after chart with Excel spreadsheets, marking moves, marking distance. How far can I expect to get? And most often settling statistically on where I think those things most likely should happen, and then combining over a half of a decade utilizing that system. All of that, like, how do I have a system that pre-draws that is that accurate to how high it's going to go? You know what I mean? Like, if you got in an entry where you want to throw your stop is above there, there it is. You know what I mean? This is based on a mathematical modeling that major market makers utilize. That's why I do this, right? So the reason I use cams is because this is the architecture, right? This is what the matrix uses. So I use what the matrix uses, right? So, but now, Gonzalo, for the first time, now that we're here, what do we have now for the first time that we have not had all day? What we should, what we were waiting for, right? We got a reoffer and what? Selling, right? We're finally selling. The BS detector shows, look, where we reoffered, and this time instead of bringing buyers in on the reoffer, we've sold, we reoffered, and our response has been more selling. Right? So for the first time on ES, we are now in the right place with the right type of volume. And we already know where our stop location is, and our target should be like S3. It's fun. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's see what we can do. Oh, what are they doing? Let me see here. Oh, nice. I would like to download it. Sorry, I got distracted. I just got a video of my daughter. All right, so let's see what happens. We're now offering again. So look, we had our sell, right? Here's our sell. Boom. Now look, we're offering to our sellers. See how you can see it? We're offering to our sellers. We're now offering to our sellers. This is the first time we've offered to sellers. All like here, we sold and then immediately went back to offering to buyers. This is our first time we're offering to sellers, right? If we buy through and start buying again, we couldn't get our sellers to come in. And that's all you need to know, right? This thing it's not a magic tool, right? It's not like that, right? It's not a magic tool, right? But what it is it allows you to read the market. It allows you to see what is happening or what has happened as a result to whatever's going on. And that's what you use these for, right? This allows you to read this. All right, so look at this buy attempt. Look what happened. So we offered, right? We moved all the way up and we offered the buyers a chance to buy again. But look what happened when we offered the buyers a chance to buy again on this candle. The immediate response to that was a sell. So that's very low volume on that buy, and we closed at premium, and then we immediately sold and closed. So this is going to start offering to the sellers again. So when we move up, if we are moving up on low volume, we are offering. Right? If we've been buying, then we were offered to the buyers as we move up. Like right now, this is a weak buy offer. right? We are sitting right on the top of the offer, right? Volume-wise. So right now they're trying to get buyers to buy. It's a very weak offer, though. No buyers are buying. They're moving the price up on low volume through a relatively lean book. It's a test candle, right? Think of this wick as if you've seen like Anna Cooling, VPA, my book, you've heard of test candles, right? They're offer candles, right? They're throwing this wick up here. Can we get any buyers to buy? No. Okay, so we couldn't get any buyers to buy. So if we can't get any buyers to buy, can we get any sellers to sell? Right? So now they're actually offering to sellers, right? They're actually pulling up. Now they're offering the same highs, but now they're trying to get to see if they can get a seller to engage. But if a buyer buys, they'll start offering to the bid again. And just watch. See, here they're offering. Okay, here we go. Here come our buyers. See, we're just on the buy side. So ideally, when we're selling, we want to be offering and sustaining our selling. So once again, we could not sustain our sell. But that's all we know, right? You're never going to know more information than what we can't do. You know, it's kind of like putting it all together, right? This doesn't mean we're along now. This just means we could not sustain our selling. When we moved lower, we could not get enough sellers to get excited to start selling. So what happened? We offered to the sellers a couple of times, then we offered to the buyers, and then the buyers bought. Right? So now we're going to keep offering to the buyers. Do the buyers want to buy? Can we buy more? Do we want to buy R3 now? Are we willing to buy premium now? So now you think this is going to start to look like a Head and Shoulders if this sells again. Am I right? But this is how Head and Shoulders are created, right? You normally have a buyer's climax on the left side. You then normally have a weak offer that engages selling, and then you have a weak re-offer to the sellers to engage more selling. And that's where that's our triple top, our Head and Shoulders, mountain passes, all the same stuff. So yeah, so we need more selling, right? Now, this is a range play, right? So for me, price is just as important as volume here, right? So I'm okay with being short in here with a stop up above here, right? Because it's the price that's important. If we go out, I'm wrong, right? But if I had more selling with confirmed selling, this would be working. And right now it's not. Why is it not working? Because we're buying. So we want to combine those things. We want to sell when we have evidence of and ideally sustained selling, which that unfortunately we do not have. So we're just continuously offering the selling range right now, right? We can't find our sellers, so we're consistently offering. And then and then we'll squeeze shorts. I mean, we do have definitely some people, this is likely a short seller potentially coming in here. So now if we get much higher than this, they're going to come out. When they come out, it will throw a lot of market level buying and squeeze the price up. And we do know we have this larger order. It's like 812 contracts of ES, which is a pretty solid amount at 68.74. And that's right here, right? So this wick and stall was right in front of our big order, right? We know there's an order right here, 68.74. 68.74 right here. Big order, right? So this is the order where we're hoping or thinking, all right, so this is where I would expect to actually sell again. So let's see what happens. So another way you can use this buying and selling detector, which is kind of fun, is you can use it similarly to a tick chart. So you can see here when we buy, this is about where we peak. When we buy, right, we really don't go much higher. So I'm like going to kind of average them, use this guy right here, and you can kind of see how that peak really fits the volume profile. So basically, anytime we get up around, the positive 14.5 area, you're likely going to be finding, you're going to probably capitulate at least a little bit. And you can see really strong buying looks like that. So let's see what happens. Things still going up. What a pain. No sellers. Can I get some sellers, please? Not today, Gonzo. Not today, buddy. Gonzalo, man, I loved all those posts on your IG with the mountain, and that was incredible. So RTY I actually like for a sell right now, much better. So let me show you the difference on the buying and selling detector on what something that's offering to the sellers looks like. So look here how we consolidated, and look how we started to buy, and as we consolidated, our buying volume actually declined, and then we sold, right? And then as we pulled back up, we made a very large price advancement, but with very little volume. And then there's our sell signal right there, boom. And then we've been offering to sellers ever since, right? So like if this was under R4, this would be way nice looking, right? So, but we've engaged sellers and we're constantly offering to our sell side. So for me, this one is something I would like for a short, much better than like ES or NQ right now. Because ES and NQ are still consistently paying. They're still buying a lot. You know what I mean? These tickers they're still offering almost entirely on the buy side right now. So in Q still again looking, again kind of spending almost its entire day so far entirely on the buy side. So we've tried to offer to our sellers a couple times, but we just haven't got it kicked in, and we've got some distance on NQ. So maybe that's what we're doing right now. I don't know. Maybe ES is parked, right? We're waiting for NQ. ES is going to chop this range and let maybe even overshoot it to go tag this big order, so that we can get a big chunk of NQ. So we shall see. I like RTY though. Like RTY seems like it wants to sell. See the difference? Do you see the difference in how the chart looks for a reversal? How it lost it and now it's consolidating under, not lost it, came back and is consolidating over. It's pretty nice. The feed can run a delay depending on you and where you're at. I've heard of upwards of 5 seconds to as long as like 15 or 20, maybe even 30. It's possible. What about BBT? Everyone's all so quiet in the BBT room. How are you doing? I miss y'all. Maybe my audio's not going in. All right. See what I mean? Like watch. All right. So now we actually have a bit of a downtrend starting on RTY too. So when I mark my levels for trends, I really like using the ghost candles. So I'll, big sell, big absorb, right? I really like using those. Did ES start selling a little bit there? No, not really. Interesting. I'm liking this one. So I really don't use the order book on futures as much, especially on RTY and YM, because I agree it's hard to read. On ES, it's a little bit easier, but I really use it more so that I can watch what's happening with the actual, like, what's happening when we offer, right? Like, are we selling or are we buying? You know what I mean? Like right now, like it, are we absorbing? Like right now, though, we look kind of bullish on ES and we're buying quite a lot. So it kind of makes sense why ES maybe isn't selling off a ton right now, right? Because its order book and its price action kind of fit still being a little bit long. Or like RTY, for instance. Remember, I was telling you RTY looked way better for a sell. Right. And the reason I liked it was because the buying and selling detector really, really fit. That's fun. I think the ES is still valid. I think it's going to work. We just got to be patient with it. YM just started to sell also. Right now on RTY, it's under. That was a pretty obvious loss there, huh? Anyone need a more obvious trend loss, right? I mean, I'm a range trader, so. Lower narrow days, no. But it is a chance. I mean, anytime there's a narrow range, we expect to go outside. So if it's a lower range and you end up outside, you're outside. That's all there, you know what I mean? Like it will go there. It's much more likely on a lower range if we break the top to close up on the top. But the same thing with higher ranges. If we lose S4 on a narrow range, we're going to sell very aggressively. So for me, we're on a higher, wider range. That's why I like the idea of playing back to the inside. Anybody else take a short on RTY? Oh yeah, here we go. I'm liking ES. Yeah, I got RTY. I'm in on RTY. I like this one. We'll see what happens here. So this was my entry. So I liked RTY because we started selling and then we were offering to sellers. So as we pulled back up, right, we did not offer our buying. We did not start buying. So we then had this volume that immediately stuffed and made a new low. So I hit short there. Right now we went over, sold, and made new lows. So at this point, we've broken this low. We should not come and now break this high. If we do that, then this trade is not working. Like this should reoffer to this bid at R4 at most and then start selling. especially since we've already offered and started selling. I don't expect to have to engage buyers. So since I've already got a pretty nice little trend here set in, I'm going to go ahead and just, since I already can, I'm going to go ahead and use this trend line as a position. Because if we buy R4 and then rebuy this, I'll just consider that to be, whatever it is. So we'll just go with that. So it is noon, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. I appreciate everybody for hanging out with me today. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And don't forget, when you're looking at your ATRs, it is possible every now and again to see Batman. Random.
I love that, man. Awesome. Have a good one, guys.